Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Alan Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
Yes. Welcome into the Alan Stiles Show. Still no Alan Stiles. He is, I believe, on his final week. Are we good? Yes, he is on his final week of paternity leave. So Alan will be joining us next Monday for, wow, that'll be a big Monday too. That's a really, really big Monday, as next Monday, Sacramento Kings Media Day. We will be live as a station, if I'm not mistaken. I know usually we have our morning show out there. This program will be live directly from Media Day.
So will the Drive Guys.
As well.
But
okay,
I think
that's great.
Dave and Jason are in studio, but they'll have coverage from Media Day because I don't think Media Day starts till like 11.
Correct. Yeah, they'll do some pre-recorded interviews, which you will hear the day after. Those will all be exclusive.
Which also, it's almost like Alan maybe planned it to be that way.
It's funny how that happens, isn't it? Alan knows what he's doing, and again, all has been good. I've talked to Alan a couple different times throughout his break. All reports are good on the baby front, so happy to hear that. But yeah, next Monday we will be pretty much fully in swing, in Kings action, in Kings land. Again, live from Media Day. This program will be the Drive Guys. Will be live after as well, and then like I said, the morning show. We'll have some interviews there as well. You can also check out all the media scrums and everything that happens at Sacramento Kings Media Day next Monday right here on Sacktown Sports 1140. I should probably introduce myself. My name is Chris Watkins. You heard me Monday and Tuesday of last week filling in for Alan. I was supposed to do more days, but on Tuesday, I was fighting, man. I was trying to fight through and just couldn't make it all the way through. Had strep throat, so had to miss the rest of the week. But I was always told that when you show up or arrive anywhere, you shouldn't show up empty-handed. I bring with me on this wonderful Monday a guest host who will be with us through Thursday, Kayla Anderson. Kayla, would you like to introduce yourself? Give yourself a little bit of a runway here. Let us know what you're doing here.
Yeah, no, first of all, I'm stoked to be on with you guys, Chris and Kyle. I've been listening on my long cross-country drive from Nashville, Tennessee. Brutal. Yeah, and it was
How
4
long was
days.
That? Yeah. Okay.
And I'm sure that my dad decided, bless my dad, he's a wonderful man, and flew over there to move my life back over to the West Coast. Gosh. But I think he took like the longer route just because he didn't want to like push the foot to the pedal the entire time. But it was cool. Like you got to see,
everything,
the random parts of the country, Texas, that's a long state, and driving through some places where you're like, how is this even a town? But I was in Nashville, Tennessee for 8 years and did local sports radio there the last 2.5 years. As you guys know, there's plenty of sports there. That city's growing, but my home is the West Coast. I'm from Spokane, Washington. My brother and his wife and kids live here in Sac. My dad's in Southern, my mom's in Spokane still. So I'm slap dab in the middle and pumped to be joining you guys. I love Sacramento. I've been here several times visiting the fam, and it just reminds me of, honestly, my hometown. Not too big, not too small, and a lot of passion for the sports.
Absolutely. Well, I love that. And I'd imagine your dad, you said, he already took the scenic route. Like, did he do the dad thing of had stops along the way of, things that are super important? And, hey, if you look on your right, those are the right. Yeah. And some of the middle of the country too. I did a little bit of it. I drove from Boise, Idaho through Montana. And so I saw a little taste of what the middle of the country is. There's not a lot to look at, but yeah, that's an incredible drive, 4 days. So you've been in Sacramento a few times. Have you been out to Kings game? Have you been out to Rayleigh Field in any capacity, Sutter Health Park, to go see River Cats, A's, any of that stuff?
Those are now on my list now that I'm going to be living here.
For sure.
But when I was visiting, it was usually during the holidays.
Gotcha.
So you only get out so much in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Like to the airport was my longest drive, right? It was like, oh, okay, this is where the airport is. And they're kind of up towards the Folsom area.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a
sure.
drive. You know,
For
it's
sure.
different from where you've lived in the past. But I am so excited to get to a Kings game. Actually, I'm stoked to go to an A's game next year, just to kind of see, while they're here, at least temporarily, a pro team here in Sacramento. I think it's going to be really fun to see that. At least I know for the next, year?
Yep,
They're
for
here one more
the
year.
next year, 2 years, we'll see.
I want you guys to get your
yeah.
own MLB team, okay?
I know. Well, yeah, funny. You say you
baseball
spent
fan.
time in Nashville. I know Nashville is a team that, or is a city that really is fighting for that expansion. It's funny how I think it's you're from the Washington area. I know Portland as well as another city that is really fighting to have expansion as well up north, and so. We're fighting, but yeah, definitely in the next year, you got to go out there. Kings games, of course, they speak for themselves. If you're lucky enough to go see the Beam, we'll talk about the Kings a little bit later in the show and maybe what we're hoping for this season. But there's really nothing like we were kind of talking in the pre-show. Your experience in Nashville and kind of how similar. There's some similarities between Nashville and Sacramento as a sports town. I know Sacramento, we kind of go back and forth. It really is an open conversation on where we are as a sports town because there really is the Kings and, A's visiting and possible expansion with the Sacramento Republic and things like that. So I think from an outsider perspective, I definitely think you can give us a really good, helpful insight into kind of what, because, I think internally we kind of beat down on ourselves a little bit as a sports city. And to hear kind of, we it's just because we don't have those teams doesn't necessarily mean that as a market, we wouldn't be able to have a team or have multiple teams like a city like that.
I 100% agree. I mean, you're a market 20 something.
Mm-hmm.
And for people out there listening that are like, what the heck's a market 20 something? It's pretty big compared to the entire country. This is a pretty big city when you look at the outskirts of it too and the population. And again, I feel like just my time being here, my brother's wife is from Sacramento, that the passion is here to support sports teams. The only thing that's different about Nashville, guys, is it's growing at a really rapid rate because everybody from California is moving to Nashville. But here's the thing with that. They're fans from all over the country. And so it's weird with getting a MLB team there. Is it going to be more like a Vegas thing,
right?
Where you're going to have just people visiting, supporting their team that's playing the Nashville team? Or is it really going to be enough locals there that are going to be like, yeah, we really love baseball. A lot of those people there grew up Atlanta Braves fans.
Right.
They grew up St. Louis Cardinals fans. So it's one of those things. Would you even get the full support for the home team there? Sacramento, I get it. You got the A's and you got the San Francisco Giants, but I still feel like there's a lot of people here that would 100% support a baseball team.
100%. I always say Sacramento is incredibly tribal. Like we do love our own a lot. And, you say, you've got family that is from Sacramento. And so I'm sure they can tell you how much we love our city. We ride for our city. We believe in our city. And I think, again, sometimes we can kind of beat down on ourselves, but at the same time, we'll be our biggest champion. And I think there's definitely room for, if it were to be a true MLB expansion and maybe not, hey, you guys can have, you guys can foster
have the White
A's
Sox
for a couple years. Yeah, have the White Sox. Okay, thanks. We don't really want somebody else's trash. Kind of like you bring up Vegas as the baseball example, but I think their hockey example is really the shining example of something where you give a city something that they can kind of claim as their own and from a true grassroots. They can own it. And I think even if you are skeptical about how the market might be in that city, it can really surprise you. And I think Sacramento is really somewhere where we've seen it with the Republic. They won in their first year, even if that is at a lower level. Like, there is definitely support here in Sacramento. And I think we're seeing with the crazy Sac State stuff and everything like that, there's so much money that people are willing to throw in sports here. And I think that's a big hurdle as well as just the financial part of it.
Yeah, give it room to grow. Like, start watering it, right? Like, give us a dang opportunity, okay? And we'll start growing the dang plant.
Absolutely. And that's what's happening. I mean, you see these stadiums being built. Again, Sac Republic, Sac State talking about their stadium being built. I think, we've been covering the attendance of the A's all season long. And
how's that been, by the way? I've been kind of keeping track, but it's hard. I know it's hot here in the summer.
It really hasn't exceeded 12,000 would be definitely a very, very populated night. Kyle's been there more than I think anybody.
I can say
really
there's been, I believe, 9 sellouts the whole year, and sellout is 10,000 plus. I believe there's been 9, and it's the games you would expect. It's 3 Yankees, 3 Giants,
The beginning
opening
of the
day.
season, right.
I think one of the Red Sox, like not even all the Red Sox games. I think 1 or 2 of the Red Sox games were
that
sellouts.
was a couple weeks ago too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So later in the season, maybe that's a sign of, even though it is a big team, maybe some of the interest is falling off a little bit, but that kind of goes back to what we were just saying, where I just don't know how much you can gauge Sacramento as a market based off of this little experiment and what's going on with the A's. And
it's not its own team. Like, let's be honest. Like, it is they're going to support the A's if they're here while they can. But, I mean, it's not like they're from Sacramento.
Right. They come with a lot of baggage
They
as well.
do.
Again, like, it's not just like
what do
we're
you mean?
giving you, your generic MLB team. Like, you are taking an MLB team that has maybe an all-time amount of baggage here and like, it's not like it's baggage from 1,000 miles away. Like, this is incredibly close. And sometimes, there are a lot of just Oakland A's fans in Sacramento as well.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting. Yeah, we will definitely get into some more A's talk, some more local Sacramento talk. But we should mention the craziness that was football yesterday. We were talking about all the block kicks. For anybody who was watching yesterday, that was definitely something that stuck out. But I do want to start with Sunday Night Football last night. You had the Chiefs, the Giants. Not really a great game or anything like that. Not anything that is going to be a headliner, but the big local angle and something we talked about last Monday is Cam Scadaboo, who continues to make a name for himself in this league. We've known him here in Sacramento for years now, obviously from his time in high school, but then had a cup of coffee at Sac State, dominated there, transferred over to Arizona State. Arizona State makes the college football playoff last year. He has a game where he pretty much almost single-handedly wins them a playoff game. And ends up getting drafted in the third round, was it, by the Giants, and is really already making a name for himself. I think I saw Tyrone Tracy. Tyrone Tracy got hurt last night. I believe I saw he's going to be out for the next couple weeks. So Cam Scadaboo making a name for himself. Again, we've known the name here in Sacramento, but he got another touchdown yesterday, as well as looking like he's going to walk away with the majority of carries over in New York. The Chiefs, I really don't know what to say. I mean, they get their first win of the season. It was fairly unimpressive. I mean, they didn't really get the lead until late in the game. How are you feeling about the Chiefs, Kayla? I mean, obviously, they've been to the Super Bowl the last X amount of years, and it just has not looked like the Chiefs that we've come to know so far to start the season.
It's different. That's for sure. It's different because they started the season 0-2, and they're kind of lucky that they ran into a Giants team that, is like, who is going to be the quarterback in 3 games?
Next
Will
week,
it be Jackson Dart? Yeah, I mean, the fans seem to
night.
really want Jackson Dart in there, and Russell Wilson seems to be pretty much on his last year of his playing career in the NFL. But when you look at the Chiefs, you're right. I mean, they didn't show out by any means. And if we look at the Chiefs even last year, it took a while for that offense to get going. We've been so used to, because they had Patrick Mahomes and because they've had those weapons in the past, Tyreek Hill before they traded him. But then the offense, as brilliant as Andy Reid is as a play caller, the offense has been a little off to start the season at least. And when you look at last night's game and who led the way, Tyquan Thornton, he led the way with 71 yards off of 5 receptions, 1 touchdown. There's a lot of people who are like going, who is Thornton? And again, that's because some of these key pieces, they're not there, or they're not contributing. Like Travis Kelce looks slow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys agree with me,
Definitely.
but there was one play in particular where, like, did you just move in actual slow motion, or was that just my eyes deceiving me? So there are some parts that are getting older. Patrick Mahomes' favorite weapon is clearly Kelce, but like, how much longer is he going to play? I know they'll probably get it together, but 0-2, and then to get your first win in week 3, even they said in the post-game show, like, this is different for us.
You're completely right. I mean, yeah, for them to have the blessing of facing the Giants this week, like, I don't think they looked great, and they needed this win. I mean, to start the season 0-3 would have been a really, really rough start. And, I know the Chiefs have kind of lived in those 1-score games, and they have not been on the right side of it so far this year. they just look unimpressive. You nailed it with the receivers. Like, without Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown doesn't look like the guy that we thought he would look like. Juju Smith-Schuster seems to be
where are they?
their guy that they trust the most, and he's definitely not somebody I would trust a ton. Tyquan Thornton, you mentioned him having a big game last night. I think it's scary. I mean, I know that they are kind of at this point relying on their defense quite a bit and saying, keep us in the game, and then we'll have Patrick Mahomes, and hopefully Travis Kelce can pull a rabbit out of the hat. And I think that's kind of the playbook that we saw from them a lot of the regular season last year. I don't know if I'm expecting Rashee Rice to come in and change all of this. He's got 3 games left, I believe, on his suspension. So that's not something that you can really count on anytime soon. I don't know. I mean, it's always in favor to try and be the first one to say that the Chiefs are finally dead and this is the end of this era of the Chiefs. But it's just starting to look different, I think is pretty much, I think it's literally the word that you just used, Kayla. It is really starting to just not be as definite. It's not the Thanos thing, right? It's not inevitable that the Chiefs are going to be there at the end. And, you're seeing a lot of teams. The Bills are looking great. The Ravens, we'll see what they look like tonight against a really good opponent in Detroit. And then in the NFC, the Eagles obviously are still the team to beat. We'll talk about them in the Rams having a great game and maybe what's on the NFC side. I just think, the Chiefs right now look about as vulnerable, I guess, as what we've seen them these past couple of years.
If this is the year to jump on the Chiefs, and if this is the year to kind of knock them down, not for good, but to really knock them out of the top, 5-10 teams, like this is the year to really do it, to really bully them, because we've seen that they are extremely vulnerable.
Yes, absolutely. And they'll bounce back. Like you said, Patrick Mahomes
still have Patty Mahomes.
What is Patrick Mahomes' contract? 10 years?
Yeah.
15 years contract?
He's going to get an extension soon, too.
Exactly. I mean, why not? You have to.
He's not going anywhere anytime soon. And so, we know the Chiefs aren't going to be, this is not the end of the Chiefs, but, to your Travis Kelce point, like, they're going to have to try and reinvigorate something in this offense, because it's just looked different really since Tyreek Hill left. They just aren't as explosive. A lot of people have joked them for, starting to look a lot more, dump downs and things like that.
Infuriating. I hate it so much.
I know you hate that conference. Kyle is like a Patrick Mahomes Chiefs fan, like of that era.
I get it.
You can call me a Chiefs fan.
Okay,
at this
I wasn't
point.
sure. Okay.
Let's just make it easy for people.
It is a lot easier for people.
Yeah, and I love them because they were such a fun Mahomes throwing 50 touchdowns, and now I'm cursed to watch the most boring offense that wins all the time.
It is really something, and I do wonder sometimes, and maybe it's a convenient excuse of how, and maybe again, Kyle and I have talked about how I'm way too basketball minded, but how much of this is maybe like the Chiefs let's just get there. Let's just get to the playoffs. Like that's, and again, you're 1-2, so not all things are guaranteed, but I do wonder how much of this is, how concerned are we first month of the season? Let's just try and stay healthy. We know we can turn it on at some point. Again, it's dangerous and it is convenient to of an excuse, but sometimes I do wonder how much of this is just them kind of playing possum a little bit until they have to. But again, they do still have to get there. Of course, the Niners, they win over the Arizona Cardinals in their home opener on the season. That one was an interesting one. Again, those are ones where I say just because the score ends up being a close game doesn't necessarily mean I would say it was a good game. A lot of field goals in that one. Very physical game. And I think it was a classic Niner Cardinals muck it up. I mean, when you have Mac Jones, a backup quarterback in there, you don't really know what you're going to get. And you got a lot of up and down, I think, from Mac Jones and the Niners. And I mean, I think the important thing for the Niners at the end of the day is they're 3-0, right? Like, I think that's kind of all they care about leaving that game, right?
They've gone through a lot of adversity early in the season. And the Niners, last year dealt with injuries, this year dealing early with injuries. I know Juwan Jennings was kind of a scratch that people were scratching their heads about yesterday. But then, you have the Ricky Pearsalls that step up. And I'll be the first to admit, Chris, I wasn't the biggest Ricky Pearsall fan at Florida. He just bugged me. I am a huge fan of Ricky Pearsall now. I love the dog. I love everything about his story and how he's persevered with the shooting last year and everything. But yeah, that fourth quarter, I got to tell you this. That was actually a great sign that the 49ers are going to keep fighting.
Yeah.
And with everything that happened on the 2-minute drive with Mac Jones and the guys that stood up and took charge, I think that's a positive sign. So yes, you're right. Take it 3-0.
Yeah.
Maybe not the prettiest, but it's a win.
No, that's a really good point, and something that, shouldn't be forgotten is that, you faced real adversity in that moment, and it probably would have been easy, again, with a backup quarterback who just made a really, really big mistake in that moment to just drop your head and say, oh, man, it's, Brock was also a late scratch. Like, Brock will be back next week. It's okay. Sucks it's a division, but they didn't miss a stride. I mean, you really wouldn't have guessed that he had just thrown an interception. I know Mac Jones was also like hobbling around a ton.
He was hurt.
Like he couldn't handle
that left leg. I know.
He had that one where he had to
like,
dive to hand the ball off to Christian McCaffrey. So, credit Mac Jones. I don't think he set the world on fire or anything. I don't think he looked amazing, but I think he did what a good backup quarterback should do, and that's be good enough. Now, again, I think he definitely put the team in harm's way with that interception that he, to his credit, I don't know if anybody heard, but he did joke it off in the press conference and say like, I literally he didn't really have to make a play. I threw it right at him.
Yeah.
And
he was like, I was trusting Pearsall.
Exactly. And your point too, Ricky Pearsall looks fantastic.
Yeah,
he looks so good. He looks every bit of what the Niners need him to be, especially with Brandon Ayuk out, with George Kittle out, with Juwan Jennings out. They needed him to step up. I think we kind of have to talk, like, is Ricky Pearsall going to be a thing moving forward for this team that they can rely on, and just how big can that be? Again, this team moved on from Deebo Samuel this offseason, aren't going to have Brandon Ayuk until I think the initial reports were like week 6. I don't believe that. I have a tough time believing Brandon Ayuk's going to be back that soon. So there were some other injuries that happened in that game, which we'll get to as well. But just want to note that the Raiders, of course, lost big on Sunday. I shouldn't say, of course, didn't mean to say like, of course, the Raiders lost, but it was
those losers over there.
Well, Alan's not here. Alan might be listening.
Raiders.
I don't want to disrespect his Raiders, but it's become a little customary. But Raiders lose big to the Commanders with Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
That's got to hurt for the Raiders. Felt like they could have had an opportunity there. They play Chicago this week. There's an opportunity for them. And then, we will talk about that Eagles-Rams game, which I don't know. I kind of feel like that might have been a preview of the NFC Championship game. I'm just saying. Coming up next, though, we will talk about that Niners-Cardinals game. Is this a breakout for Ricky Pearsall? How did Mac Jones do? And, we're going to look at the NFC West outlook because it is a bloodbath. You're listening to the Alan Stiles Show, Sacktown Sports.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I'm opening my own coffee shop.
I smell a caffeinated catastrophe.
And I needed menu boards and banners printed.
What you really needed was a reality check.
Staples really came through. They printed menus and signs, even flyers in time for my grand opening.
And that's where the other shoe dropped.
Not quite. I got $125 off my custom print order.
Cha-ching! For your business printing, Staples.
That was easy.
Now save up to $125 on custom print orders. Valid in-store and online until 11/1. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
Wait,
you going to take the RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning?
RV wins!
Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping?
RV wins!
Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast?
RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates, other insurers, not available in all states and situations.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity. Introducing the 5-year price guarantee. One internet price, 5 years guaranteed. Well, as we hit the home stretch in 2025, there seems little doubt that Nick Kurtz will become the American League Rookie of the Year, and even a chance that Kurtz and Jacob Wilson will finish 1-2, and also the chance that Wilson will become the A's first rookie ever to win the American League batting title.
Welcome to Dugout Radio, the undisputed home of Boomtown Baseball.
The Wi-Fi is booming with Xfinity, baby. Our next caller is
Stacy. How do you stay locked in on every pitch and play?
We stream it all live on Xfinity Internet with low lag, 99.99% network reliability, and speeds faster than a base runner beating the throw to home plate.
I stream on my TV, tablets, even my smart fridge.
Smart fridge?
With all those games, we gotta refuel.
Stream live baseball with Wi-Fi built for the biggest moments. Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary, not guaranteed.
Hey, I'm Alan Stiles. Injured at work? Call downtown. DTLA Law Group, California's leading injury law firm. With over 40 lawyers throughout California, they have won over $500 million in settlements. DTLA Law Group will get you compensation for your work injury. You don't pay unless they win. That's right. You pay zero up front. Call downtown. Text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222. Visit them at calldowntown.com. Text charges may apply.
Go on a culinary adventure at one of Europe's biggest food events coming to the Americas, Terra Madre. Discover more flavors to savor, more ideas to chew on, more voices shaping the future of food. Join chefs Alice Waters, Sean Sherman, and Jeremiah Tower for tastings, pop-ups, food demos, and panels, all celebrating good, clean, and fair food for all. Terra Madre Americas, September 26th through 28th in Sacramento. Savor the journey. Visit TerraMadreUSA.com for more details. Terra Madre Americas is supported by Sacramento International Airport and brought to you by Slow Food and Visit Sacramento.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Welcome back into the Alan Stiles Show. Chris Watkins, joined by Kayla Anderson, Kyle Ledbetter. Kyle, I'm now just realizing that I only did 2 shows last week, but I did a terrible job of I never introduced you entire time that I did the show. I only said Chris Watkins filling in for Alan Stiles. I realized I never did the Kyle Ledbetter on the other side of the glass.
I mean, people know it's me.
I know, but
right?
It's just like a common courtesy kind of thing. And now, I'm realizing, now I'm gonna have to introduce Kayla, and then it's like, oh my gosh, I know. Yeah, there you go.
See?
There you go. Yeah, we got. Absolutely.
I like
We're lined
it.
up.
Yeah.
Lined up. I
well,
love
the thing is, for people who ever wonder, I just assume I'm always trapped in this room. Like, I just know I'm always here. I'm never allowed to leave. I'm always just behind the glass.
Yeah. You really have that spot locked up. It's really not anybody else that, you don't see Anthony back there. Ramsey does it. Ramsey does more of the afternoons.
Ramsey's filled in here a bunch
He's
of
done
times,
a couple times,
but
yeah.
I don't take a lot of vacation.
Yeah. We were talking about that pre-show, Kyle. We don't
I feel
take
like
breaks.
everybody
I
in
don't know what it
sports
is.
just doesn't take vacation.
It's just, I think
except their guy Alan Stiles,
except for Alan Stiles, who will be returning next Monday, by the way, with his month-long break. But yeah, it's just something. Well, especially when you're in media, and we were talking about, especially in TV news, it's like you can't really, and I mean, we can definitely. You can't just replace us, not in a ego way, but in a, hey, somebody's got to do the show. And if I wake up Tuesday morning and I don't feel well, You can't just, Kyle, you have to do it. Like, there's only a certain amount of people who you can call to fill in.
Our guy Anthony lives like 30 minutes away too. So if I'm calling him at 8 in the morning, I'm like, hey, can you get to the studio by 9 o'clock? It's like, yeah.
What was us, man? What was us? The show goes on. The show must go on.
I'm always here, though.
I'm excited to be here with you guys.
Yes, absolutely. Glad to have Kayla joining us. She'll be joining us pretty much all week through Thursday. And then, Friday, I'm sure we're just going to go full Kings preview because, again, it will be absolutely electric on Monday from Kings Media Day. Sacktown Sports will have that completely blown out. That will be next Monday. And speaking of blowouts, I did kind of mention it at the end of the segment there. Raiders blown out by the Washington Commanders. Washington had Marcus Mariota going at quarterback. He finished 15-21, 206 yards, a touchdown, and a passing touchdown in his first NFL start since 2022. Mariota had, can we even say a cup of coffee with the Raiders? Like what?
Yeah, I think that's fair because I covered him with the Titans his majority of his career.
Yeah.
So the Raiders, it was like kind of a blip.
Yeah, definitely. It was, I don't think it's something that either of them are going to look back on and think of the good old days of him.
Technically spent 2 years with the Raiders.
Did he really? How many games did he play with?
He played in 11 games.
Wow, that feels way more than I would have thought. Okay.
Although 1 year he played in 10 games and threw 2 passes.
Yep.
They just used him in the read option.
In the read option.
Yep.
That's right.
Because Carr was still there, right?
Yeah, this was Carr, but I think Carr got hurt.
Yes.
I can't remember which year it was, but this 2021 was the year I remember because that was when Gruden got fired in the middle season. Why? We don't talk about it. But anyways, then they brought in whoever the interim was, and they started running Mariota as the running option. He just never threw the ball. It was just always for like quarterback sneaks and read options and stuff. But technically 2 years with the Raiders and then also on the Falcons. I forgot he started a season for the Falcons.
Yes, he did.
He did. Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm.
What a forgettable year that was.
Just an interesting career is he remembered well in Tennessee?
Yeah, he's beloved just for the fact, not because he led them to Super Bowls or many playoffs, but Marcus Mariota, if you followed him at Oregon, obviously he was the cream of the crop coming out of college. Yep. And I think they thought that, why not take a risk on this guy? Because it wasn't really a risk at the time. But what happened when he first got to Tennessee, they put a crap offensive line in front of him, never protected him. He actually suffered injuries early on in his career and could just never really get that confidence. He's a quiet guy too. I personally, covering him, didn't ever feel like he had the full leadership ability to really be that quarterback that could lead a franchise that was kind of down in the dumps back to relevance. It took Ryan Tannehill to kind of come in and do that with Derrick Henry as well to be able to boost that Titans organization back up. But I loved Mariota, and so did the fans. I mean, he's the nicest person you'll ever meet. If you saw the interview with Jen Latta after the game, he got super emotional because he just, I don't think, knew his career would keep going at this point. And I know he's a backup, but for him to come in and win a game for Washington and play pretty well, by the way, guys. I mean, he had a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown. Yeah. He held his own. I think he was just emotional knowing that his journey has not been easy. Yeah, no, and I remember him on the quarterback show. Like, you're right. I mean, I wouldn't say he was the most entertaining part of quarterbacks, but I think that speaks to really just how it was because he was so normal. He was just a very normal person who just wanted to live a normal life, and I think that probably speaks to kind of what you're talking about with the leadership element of it too. You kind of need Tannehill a little bit more of the rah-rah, like get the guys going, and that quiet confidence can be good in the right situation, but you kind of have to have an extreme amount of play to speak for maybe what you don't verbalize and things like that. And so, Mariota's had an interesting career. And as we were kind of talking about the Giants yesterday and what are they going to do at quarterback, they have Jameis Winston as their option. Obviously, Mariota and Winston kind of go hand in hand. Like, I don't really know who wins, like who had the better career. I guess you wouldn't say either of those are great picks, but both of which, I mean, you kind of give and take with both of them, right? I think Jameis Winston has like 2 of the 10 highest passing yard seasons in NFL history. Yeah, but he went 30 for 30. Like he had the 30 touchdown, 30 pick thing too. And so, don't get me wrong. He was a bad quarterback. That is the great, but you get just as much bad with the good with Jameis. But like with Mariota's career, it's like
We're going to remember some nice things, but Jameis is like, he's going to be in NFL record books, and we're not going to know how to explain it.
And part of that comes with the personality, right? I mean, Jameis Winston, we all saw him in Hard Knocks that first, time, and his personality obviously resonates. The team rallies around him. Marcus is like completely opposite. So Jameis always got a little more attention too. Coming into the NFL, just because even if it was a negative attention, it was like we still talked about it
W's
more.
on the sideline. I mean, he's always got something going on. Jameis.
Exactly.
And, his speeches are incredible for good and bad reasons. You get everything. You get the full spectrum with Jameis, and it's him and Mariota, I think, are just, it's an interesting it's interesting to look back on those two guys, and what their NFL careers ended up being.
Very true.
Just, I mean, both are solid, okay, but definitely not living up to those number 1 and number 2 picks. And I think that's something that the Raiders have to think about. Obviously, they take Ashton Jeanty with the 6th pick in the NFL draft, and it just hasn't looked how that should look so far to start the season. Yesterday, 17 carries, 63 yards, his best game so far. So I guess, again, I kind of talked about it last week. It's a weird balance of, these are his first games in the NFL. I have to give him some level of grace, but at the same time, when you're a running back and you're taken 6th in the draft, and I know it's probably more on the Raiders than it is on Jeanty, but there's a certain level of expectation that comes with that. And frankly, when you're taken 6th as a running back, that's a luxury pick. And that tells me that you think you're at a spot, or your offense was in a place that I just don't think it is. For the season, 144 yards for Ashton Jeanty through 3 games, 3.1 yards per carry, 1 touchdown. I think I'm okay with saying at least it was a bad decision. Now, will I say he's a bust? Will I say, the Raiders are idiots? Not yet, but I just think, in terms of maybe where the Raiders thought their offense could be, or what he would unlock for their offense, I just think it's okay at this point to say it probably wasn't the right move. There's probably offensive line somewhere else they could have gone.
Boom. You hit it right there, Chris. And you made a good point, the luxury pick. Look, admit it or not, and some people go with just whoever's best on the board. I don't always fully believe in that if you don't have the line to support it. And that, especially what I've seen in Tennessee over the last several years on the offensive line, which has been not good. Whoever is back there, they've not been good enough to hold up and to allow the quarterback to have any success. And I look at that. It's the same thing right now in Las Vegas. Geno Smith obviously had a better day yesterday than he did the week before, but Ashton Jeanty, they're not holding up at all they're not giving him any holes. And it is hard with you not giving the offensive line to that running back or to that quarterback beforehand. They've got to do so much extra work, and it's going to take so much longer to get to that point. So being a luxury pick, that is what it is. And I was looking at some of the comments online. Brennan Carroll, obviously Pete Carroll's son, is the offensive line coach, and Raiders fans are mad. They are.
I heard about this beef. Yes, I heard about this.
They're fire Brennan, get him out of here. I mean, it's only so much on the coach or the offensive line coach, but the pieces aren't there right now either. And I know, is it Jackson Powers Johnson, the pick 2 years ago for them. He was supposed to play yesterday, ended up not. He was coming back off of a concussion. So there's a little bit of drama going on too in terms of that line.
Yeah, it's a mess, as it typically is for the Raiders. I mean, just in terms of that decision making, it's really tough, and especially when Jeanty's not a Bijan, he's not a 6'2", 240-pound monster, Derrick Henry looking guy or anything like that. As a matter of fact, he's the complete opposite. He's, he looks like he's 5'7", 5'8" in the backfield, and he's just not somebody who, if you don't have an offensive line, it's going to be tough for him to shed those tackles, and unless you run like Cam Scat. Look, not everyone can be Cam Scatterbo.
That guy's a beast.
That's the thing, is Cam Scatterbo's out here.
He don't care who's in front.
Saw him chip block somebody yesterday.
Yeah,
and he took him out. He took out a defensive end by blocking him in the chest. Can't say enough about Cam Scatterbo, Sacramento's finest. But that is on the Raiders front. Ashton Jeanty, it's just not looking good. Again, the Raiders play the 1-2 Chicago Bears next week in Vegas, so they have an opportunity there. The Bears looked a lot better, I will say, in week 3, but that nonetheless, I think, should be a fairly competitive game. And we didn't have time to get to the Niners. We'll touch on the Niners. Ricky Pearsall, his big game, was it a breakout? Now that it could potentially be over, Brock Purdy seeming like he almost started in their week 3 game, and Mac Jones might just be out for a couple weeks here with a PCL sprain. We'll talk a little bit about the Niners and some of the biggest questions that we have exiting the week 3 weekend. You're listening to the Allen Stiles Show, Sacktown Sports.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
Hey, this is Jelly Roll. This National Recovery Month, start your recovery journey. Choose a proven addiction treatment option that's right for you at ChooseChangeCA.org.
When your name's on the paint job, your primer better hold up. Painters trust Kills primers for serious adhesion, stain blocking, and a finish that lasts. Now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick it up in-store. Kills primers. Pro results. Faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next-day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Hi, I'm Michael from the War and Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5 milligram, 1 milligram, and 2 milligrams.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Paid for by Action Matters.
Attention former and present inmates of women's prisons in California. If you are currently or were an inmate of Central California Women's Facility in Chowchilla, also known as Chowchilla Women's Facility, Valley State Prison for Women in Chowchilla, Institute for Women in Chino, or Folsom Women's Facility in Represa, and were a victim of sexual abuse, now is the time to come forward, as you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. If you were an inmate at any of these prisons at any time and were subjected to sexual abuse from staff members, you may be entitled to substantial cash compensation. Call our California Women's Prison Helpline now at 800-408-1240. The deadline to file a claim may be close. Call now to get the justice, closure, and the financial settlement you deserve. Even if it was long ago, call our law firm's Women's Prison Sexual Abuse Helpline right now at 800-408-1240. 800-408-1240. 800-408-1240.
Carmichael Dave here for my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Yes, I always tell you they are a family-owned operation, been in business since 81, A-plus Better Business Bureau, but it is hot. We are in those Sacramento hot months. I want to focus on them being your second opinion partner. What does that mean? Maybe you've got somebody you're working with or you've worked with in the past in the HVAC world. Guess what? They want to give you a second opinion. How much does it cost? Nothing. Nothing. You call them up and say, hey, can I get a second opinion on this deal? They come out and they either say, wow, that's a great deal, you should feel better about that, or they say, we can beat that price. And usually they're going to beat it by a lot. Guess what? You just saved money and it didn't cost you anything to find out. It's a no-lose situation. Go with a trusted company. American Energy, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Listen to the 49er Rewind daily. Brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza, the official pizza of the 49ers. Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza, the way it ought to be.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Alan Style Show. Sacktown Sports. Sorry, Kyle. Chris Watkins, Kayla Anderson, Kyle Ledbetter, filling in for Alan Stiles, who will be joining us next week. Can't wait to get our daily shot of Style Espresso. That will definitely, it's going to hit. It's definitely going to hit. Yeah.
Sabrina Carpenter song remake?
Is that how it started? I kind of feel like it is. You guys started with the Sabrina reference.
Espresso.
Yeah.
Okay, I just think Alan's been doing that since he was in the Bay.
Okay.
I just think that's his trademark.
It's something. It's the Style Espresso is definitely something.
Yeah. This is the other dumb one now. I don't know if you've heard. We also have yerba mate. So Alan got a bunch of yerba mate, and so
I'm unfamiliar.
It's good stuff.
What is that?
Natural energy, right, Kyle?
Yeah, that's the easiest way. Call it like an energy drink, but it's not an actual energy drink. And anyways, he started talking super fast, and so now we have yerba mate Alan here. I have the fun drop here. This is not sped up at all. Sorry, I gotta find Alan, but we have this dropped for the yerb, and then here we go. This is Alan in real time.
So Carmichael Dave with a little bit of breaking news. If you're just now joining the show,
that's yerba mate Alan.
Oh, yep, that's set up.
Carmichael Dave with a little bit of breaking news. If you're just now joining the show,
whoa, that is crazy. He gets a little auctioneer in there. Hey,
yeah, he just didn't realize it was happening. But yes. So we got Style Espresso, we got yerba mate Alan
Don't
now.
give that guy caffeine.
No.
He does not need
so Carmichael Dave with a little bit of breaking news. If you're just now joining the show,
that gives me my heart starts to go.
Yeah, he does that. Alan just naturally has that where he can get your juices flowing, and that's why we love him with the River Cats and him doing his MC thing. So
last game this weekend.
It is. Yeah, it's the last week of baseball in MLB as well. I know
except for my Mariners are keeping.
Yeah, Mariners.
Well, some of us are playoff teams,
I'm sorry.
Mariners, Padres. Some of us are going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Who is your team?
I don't have a baseball team. I stay.
Really?
Yeah, I like when the Giants, and I don't want to consider myself a Giants fan, but when they were winning, I was all for it. It was great, fun times. I don't know if I would consider myself a Giants fan. And then I have so many friends that are A's fans, like actual diehard A's fans, that I paid way more attention to the A's than the Giants. But I'm crazy. I'm not going to be a Kings fan, a Vikings fan, and an A's fan. That's just asking for sadness.
You're waking up every morning just depressed.
Yeah, I couldn't do that to myself. So baseball, if it's good, I'll watch it. If there's a player that catches me, I'm all in. But I like to keep my distance for baseball. So it's the only sport. Well, that and college football are the only two that I kind of just stay. And
no team for that either. Okay,
yeah, I just kind of pick and choose when I want to dive in.
So who's your team this year?
It's a good question. I wouldn't say I've picked one yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I do really like the Brewers. I don't know why. I've watched like 5 to 7 randomly of their games throughout the year, and I just really like the Brewers.
Their manager's the best.
Yeah,
Pat Murphy is the GOAT. I covered him in AAA Tucson.
Really?
And you knew right then, this guy could be a big league manager.
Really?
he has what it takes. Like, you can't be too much as a manager in the bigs.
sure.
Like, the guys are going to do what they want. Like, this guy just gets it.
That's interesting.
He's cool.
I don't think I've ever heard that from like a manager. I saw a professional manager in him. That's really, it's just the way that he was able to manage people, I guess, is the bigger part of it. And that's
players, how they reacted, you know.
Yeah.
He was that guy like years ago.
Wow.
So
took him a long time too, because I remember he was like the interim for the Padres and he never got a fair shot at the job, and it was like he had to wait and Council had to leave. He had to wait so long to get a crack at a manager, and now he's doing great. He might win Manager of the Year.
Yeah,
I would say so. I mean, yeah, I would think so. I'm trying to think in the NL.
It's probably going to be him or the Blue Jays guy.
That's right, because they've had a good year
It's
as well.
probably those two, but anyways, he might win Manager of the Year. Good, it's good on him.
There we go. So yeah, we'll talk a little bit of baseball a little bit later as well. But let's get into the Niners, who were able to sneak one by against the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday in their home opener. Boy, oh boy, how nice it is to make kicks for the Niners. Eddie Pinheiro, 3 of 3, 38 yards, 51 yards. I was told he was only able to hit them inside of 50, so hit one from outside of 50. I'm sure Kyle Shanahan loves to see that. And then, of course, the game-winning 35-yard field goal for Eddie Pinheiro. It's crazy that this is honestly a massive, massive story for the Niners, but when you were where they were with Jake Moody just a couple weeks ago, cutting him after the first week, I mean, this is exactly what Kyle Shanahan, I'm sure, dreamed of. Like, I can't imagine somebody who is as detail-oriented as Kyle Shanahan is, as psychotic about those kind of things as Kyle Shanahan is, to have a kicker just throw off your game plan so often. I'm sure it was just great to see those things go right down the middle of the uprights, too. So, great game from Eddie Pinheiro there. You also had some scary stuff happened for the Niners. Nick Bosa went out really early in that game. I want to say first quarter in that game. And then as he's walking to the sideline, they show a replay of him, I'm assuming talking to his family in the stands, giving a thumbs down.
That was wild. I was like, I needed to replay that, because did he really give the thumbs down? That was not a good sign.
Not a good sign. And it immediately, I'm not even a Niners fan, and my mind starts racing of, is that like a thumbs down, like this is multiple weeks kind of thumbs down, or just like hey, we know when I'm really, really hurt, this is just I'm not going to give it a go today kind of thing. Knowing Bosa, I want to lean towards this is just today. I'm not feeling it. It's going to be a no-go. But, with knees especially, I think Kyle Shanahan immediately after the game said they avoided an ACL. So I want to say getting clear of that at least is.
He said they were going to give a little more because he said on the sideline the trainer did like the things that you need to do, and it didn't look like it was an ACL, but I think he said they're still going to do x-rays today. We'll probably find out, I would guess today. I would
assume so.
But fingers crossed, because I think even, a lot of the guys were saying, like, we were in a down spot when we knew Nick wasn't coming back, but that's why I said the adversity earlier. Like, they fought through knowing that they were going to be down one of their best defensive players too in this game. And, they still fought through it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to lose Bosa after, again, the list of injuries that we already know that they went into that game with, again, it's a really good point. Showing fighting through adversity and all that, I think is, I have been clowning the Niners for having an easy schedule. And I think, again, the Cardinals, not the toughest 2-0 opponent, but you only play who's in front of you. I think it was a really big statement win for that locker room. And again, I don't think it was the toughest test, but I think still being able to grit that game out and face real time adversity and be able to bounce back from it immediately, it's a positive sign. And I think ultimately that's kind of how I feel about Mac Jones's 2 games in general. Is I wouldn't endorse him to be anybody. I wouldn't say, hey, go out and get Mac Jones. He was great for the Niners in his 2 weeks out. And if you have a quarterback go out, like you can put him in and feel great. Wouldn't give him that glowing of a review. But again, I think for backup quarterback standards, he did his job. He got the wins at the end of the day, which is the most important thing. It might have not looked beautiful, but to me, I don't know, like a B minus for Mac Jones.
I mean, he's done his
weeks.
job, right, Chris? Like
Yep.
he's been called in the last 2 games to get the job done, even through the pain that he was dealing with the PCL, I believe, in the left side. You could see him fighting in that final drive, and even on the sideline. Like the guy was hurting, but for him to continually go back out there and know, like, I'm who it is, and then rely on your kicker, who obviously did their business too and got it done. But Mac Jones, I think, is a decent backup quarterback, and that's what you can take from this, at least right now. And you always have to have a decent quarterback in the National Football
You have
League.
to, and I think, we're now seeing that you have to have a decent backup in the league. And like, I think they said who. They definitely said who the Niners backup is, but they said he had never played a snap of NFL football or anything like that. I can't. It wasn't.
I was like, who?
I know that for a while, and now it's been a while since I was in the thick of it with Niners everyday coverage. But Tanner Mordecai was somebody that the fans were like insanely high on. He might just be their practice squad quarterback, but he's who I would have expected to have been the backup.
Adrian Martinez.
Oh, no way.
That sounds correct.
Yeah.
He's there now. That's so funny. That was the guy who was at Nebraska for like 8 million years. He was the quarter. Nebraska never made a bowl game. They were always bad, but they had Martinez at quarterback for like 8,000 years.
No, okay. I actually know what you're talking about. Okay.
I assumed he was still at Nebraska.
Yeah, I definitely would not have assumed he's in the NFL, but apparently he was a snap away from getting real NFL action. So, I mean, again, I think it's just a tip of the cap to Mac Jones. Did your job. But it does seem as if Brock Purdy more than likely will give it a go next week. Again, he was a late scratch on Sunday with a turf toe. I've learned throughout the past 2 weeks what turf toe is.
It's awful.
It's awful. It's one of those, and it's whatever it says. It sounds like it's not a big deal. It sounds like, like what?
Doesn't
you
it sound like
jammed your
fungus
toe
or something?
It sounds. Yeah, it sounds very minor, but it could not be. Yeah, just the injury sounds absolutely terrible. I could not imagine not being able to push off of your big toe. But Brock Purdy sounds like he will be able to give it a go after really having really big advances in his injury these past 2 weeks. The reports from Niners practice have all been positive these past 2 weeks on Purdy's injury development. So I'm led to believe, especially with Mac Jones's injury here, that Brock Purdy more than likely will give it a go when they play Jacksonville in Santa Clara on Sunday. Again, I know Jacksonville's 2-1. It has not looked pretty for them. I would expect, again, Niners to look a lot more healthy in that one. And I would feel like they should be able to take care of business. Coming up next, we get into a little bit of Kings news, and we're going to wrap a bow on week 3 of the NFL season. You're listening to the Allen Stiles Show, Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free.
Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-292-4382. That's 800-292-4382. 800-292-4382.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
It was a doubleheader in August and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Let's go.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The deals are on now at the model year-end sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save on year-end models and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity. Introducing the 5-year price guarantee. One internet price, 5 years guaranteed. Well, as we hit the home stretch in 2025, there seems little doubt that Nick Kurtz will become the American League Rookie of the Year, and even a chance that Kurtz and Jacob Wilson will finish 1-2, and also the chance that Wilson will become the A's first rookie ever to win the American League batting title.
Welcome to Dugout Radio, the undisputed home of Boomtown Baseball.
The Wi-Fi is booming with Xfinity, baby. Our next caller is
Stacy. How do you stay locked in on every pitch and play?
We stream it all live on Xfinity Internet with low lag, 99.99% network reliability, and speeds faster than a base runner beating the throw to home plate.
I stream on my TV, tablets, even my smart fridge.
Smart fridge?
With all those games, we gotta refuel.
Stream live baseball with Wi-Fi built for the biggest moments. Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary, not guaranteed.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Yes. You're tuned into the Allen Stiles Show. Chris Watkins, Kayla Anderson, Kyle Ledbetter on the other side of the glass, filling in for Allen Stiles for the week. And we're going to get into some Kings. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get into some Kings talk. This is from Friday, as this is just continually, as we talk about every single time, it feels like the microphone gets turned on. There's something new when it comes to Jonathan Kuminga and his ongoing contract negotiations with the Golden State Warriors.
It's day 81 of Kuminga Watch.
Is that a fact? Is that an actual true number?
I'm just ballparking it.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that's why.
June 30th.
That sounds way too accurate.
July, 31 days. August, 31 days. So that's 63. Today's the 22nd. So we're day 85 of Kuminga Watch from free agency to now.
That's disgusting. That is disgusting. Hopefully, maybe this comes to an end this week.
Probably not.
Probably not.
They're probably going to be.
Kyle, we've talked about this media day fiasco last week.
Oh,
it's lining up.
Yes, it's going to happen.
Oh, Lord.
Wait, refresh all of us.
So yeah, go ahead.
Let me
Kyle,
just
please.
layman's terms. So
yeah, as we're speaking code here. Thank you for actually producing this show, Kayla.
So for all the people who aren't poison pilled by Kuminga like us,
85 days.
Yes, for all of those who haven't just read the CBA front and back to explain this. So Jonathan Kuminga and the Warriors' deadline for his qualifying offer is October 1st. Now, technically, if they both agreed, they could move it back. Why would the Warriors agree to do that? No way. So October 1st is the deadline for when the qualifying offer has to be accepted. Warriors Media Day is scheduled for Monday, the 29th
of September.
Which means there is a world where if Kuminga's situation drags on until September 30th, there will be only 6 Warriors players at Media Day because they can't sign Al Horford. They can't sign DeAnthony Melton. They can't sign Gary Payton. They can't sign Steph Curry's brother until Kuminga's situation is resolved. So there is a world where they show up to Media Day and there are literally 6 players.
Oof.
Yeah.
And to those of us who do our jobs, like, we go to Media Day, we talk to these players. It's like, that is nightmare situation.
To that point, it's the same 6 players with the exception of Jimmy Butler, maybe, right. But like you've talked to Steph Curry 100,000 times. You've talked to Draymond Green 100,000 times.
And you don't care what Quentin Post has to say.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Bless Quentin Post. But no, it's not.
I would pay money to be at that version of the Media Day because you know what it's going to be? 6 dudes getting asked 1,000 questions about Jonathan Kuminga and Jimmy Butler wearing an afro or some stupid costume that he dresses up as
What
every
is he going to
year.
be this year?
Oh, that's such a good shout. I always forget that he does that. I don't know. Well, last year I think he stopped because he was trying to take it more seriously, or did
wasn't last year
was
the
last
emo?
year the one?
Last year was last year emo, Jimmy?
The emo was insane.
Emo was the best one. I don't know if it was.
Emo might have been 2 years ago.
It feels like it was 2 years ago.
Was last year the punk rock one?
I don't know. I mean, it's crazy that there is a list of Jimmy Butler Media Day personalities that we can go through.
So yeah, last year
is cooking up.
Last year he did not do anything.
Yeah, because I feel like I remember Pat Riley making a stink of it because Jimmy was making a stink of his situation, and so
photos that they actually had to use on the broadcast all year round, which was so funny.
It's next level trolling. It's chef's kiss.
At a certain point, they literally just started putting Bam Adebayo's photo on all the Miami Heat stuff because they were like, we can't have this dude,
emo Jimmy. Yeah,
we can't have this dude with emo and dreads on our photo. It's just so unserious.
Absolutely. So yeah, that could be the scene from Warriors Media Day if this is not resolved by the end of this week, which I honestly don't know. Vibe wise, it feels like they're potentially as far as ever. Aaron Turner, who's Jonathan Kuminga's agent, went on a literal media tour on Friday where he went on Brian Windhorst's podcast. He went on a Bay Area radio station. Might have been 2 Bay Area radio stations.
He went on the Warriors Talk Pod, the Monty Pool show.
He went on podcasts. This man had a mission that he was trying to accomplish. And he definitely got his point across. I think I saw tons of articles of what Jonathan Kuminga wants. And to his credit, seemingly from their side of things, seems very transparent in everything that has been negotiated, everything that has been directly offered to them. So if you are at all confused or for some reason want to get caught up on the 85 days of Jonathan Kuminga saga, I guess you can listen to everything that his agent was saying on Friday. But we have this clip here in which he pretty much details the Sacramento side of it more specifically, and where things stand with the competition that the Kings might be finding in their Jonathan Kuminga sweepstakes.
JK is the hardest worker I've ever represented. From a 1 to 10, his work ethic is an 11. He loves it. He's competitive. I've kind of said this about him. His biggest flaw sometimes is he wants it too much. So, he's gotten a chance to hear from other teams. Sacramento, he spent some time with them, got to meet Scott Perry, Doug Christie, the Suns and what they've offered him. And there's been other teams too who, maybe planting seeds for 26, 27, but saying, hey, we want you to be you. We don't want you to change anything. We want to put the ball in your hands. We want to give you a huge opportunity to play. So I don't think it's more about not being on, not wanting to be on the Warriors, because the Warriors, if having repped guys on all different teams, it is first class as you get. I mean, everything there is awesome, from the facility, how they treat the guys. It's like amazing. But these other places are offering them opportunities to start games, finish games, right? Know your role.
2 cynical red flags there. Hardest worker in the world. Don't know anybody else who works harder than Jonathan.
Wants it too much.
Maybe
wants it too much.
Biggest flaw, wants it too bad.
I was like, don't we all?
Come on. I mean, that is an agent doing his job right there, but also just a lot of what agents speak, I guess. If there's coach speak, definitely agent speak. And then the other thing was, the quote that kind of circulated was there were other teams besides Sacramento. He says the Kings spent some time in Sacramento, got to know them, went to specifics, got to meet Scott Perry and Doug Christie, then again says directly the Suns and what they've offered, and then says there's been other teams too. Skeptical me just feels like, why did you go specifics on those two and then just say, and then there's also others that I could list. I just don't have the time on my 5 media appearance tours that I'm stopping by. So I don't quite know if that's true that there are other offers. We haven't heard anything substantial in terms of other teams besides the Kings and the Suns, which we have heard direct offers for. Kayla, I'm just curious we've kind of laid it out a little, and I promise you, I'm sure there's more that we haven't laid out, but just from the outside looking in, I guess, what is your read on the Kings in the situation, but also just the flat Jonathan Kuminga and the Warriors relationship part of all of this?
Yeah, and like I said, I've been listening to maybe 10 of those 85 days or whatever it is when it comes to Jonathan Kuminga and Jonathan Kuminga gate, whatever you want to call it here in Sacramento.
Kuminga watch.
Kuminga watch. And believe me, I know what that's like, just waiting on something to happen. Because sometimes when you're in a market like this and, I'm just arriving in this market and learning specifically about the Kings, NBA I follow, but specifically about the Kings. And it is one of those teams where you guys feel like, we don't get necessarily all those players that these other big market teams get, or they don't necessarily want to come here. In this situation, I'm looking at this, and I know his agent, Aaron Turner, Kuminga's agent, Aaron Turner, also said on the Hoop Collective podcast that he wants to pick where he wants to go. And when I look at this thing from afar, it sounds like Kuminga does not want to be with the Golden State Warriors.
I agree.
It sounds like Kuminga would like to be somewhere else where his role is going to be bigger, where he's going to be appreciated. I know when he came off the bench last year for them, he was pretty productive, but again, he was coming off the bench and he feels like he can do more for a team. In a way, I feel like Sacramento would be a better fit for him. And it seems like he would want to come here. But again, Sacramento has its own roster things that it's dealing with right now, a shooting first type of team. What else do you need to do in terms of making this roster better for a player like that? Is he going to be a real good fit when it comes to his role? I kind of want him to do it because I want somebody flashy here to talk about that can kind of make himself his own star here. And that I do believe he could possibly do.
Yeah, no, I think that's the thing from the Sacramento side that really does intrigue me is, like you said, I mean, the flashy young player is kind of the thing that the Kings don't really have right now. We do have, like Keegan Murray is our young piece that, there are like high level expectations for, but Keegan's the opposite of flashy or exciting or anything like that. And that's no diminishing his game, but that's just more his actual personality. And Kuminga, we've talked about it. He'd be 22 years old, which would be the second youngest player on this team with the amount of experience that he already has with the Warriors. I think it makes a ton of sense for the Kings to pursue him. And I think you definitely have the right read. Like my read on this entire thing has been, you don't want to play for the Warriors. And I think it is a lot more of I don't think it takes, knowing a ton of basketball or watching a ton of basketball. You even see this from a human level. I just think that it's very clear that the situation isn't right for either of them. I mean, Kyle, we were just talking in the break about how, it's just not clear from the Warriors side, even how you're going to fit in with their situation. Like, just all of it doesn't seem like it's going to work for Kuminga. And it feels like the Warriors want it to work. From my opinion, is they don't want to lose the optics battle.
That's
right?
exactly what it is. It's the optics. And when you start dealing with management of any professional team, sometimes, unfortunately, that's what it comes to, and bad decisions then are made. Because if I'm the Warriors and I'm the upper management of the Warriors, I get it. Like, there's some pride there. You don't want to go send him up to Sacramento.
Especially that.
And maybe have him lift off in his career. Right.
Yeah.
There's that part of it. But what are you going to do here? I don't think he's going to thrive as a player for you. I don't think he's going to be the best player he can be for the Golden State Warriors if you're keeping him under his own will in a way. And he's not able to really be the best player he can be. Like, it kind of comes down to just human nature. when it's like some of these
100%.
these managements, upper management sometimes gets in its own way. Ownership gets in its own way. Like sometimes just think logically.
And that's what I've said is like, even if he does, so let's say, for lack of a better term, you force his hand and he has to play for the Warriors next season. We point to Scott Perry has this quote that he said the first day that he gave his intro press conference, I want volunteers, not hostages.
Boom.
That sounds as close to a basketball hostage situation as you're going to get. And I just can't imagine, again, on a human level, how are you going to play your best? How are you going to give your best every single day when mentally you're confined because you just know this isn't the situation I want? And even if the Warriors are promising, hey, there is a light at there's a rainbow at the end of the whatever the phrase is.
Yep.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel, rainbow
A
or
rainbow
pot
at
of
the end.
gold at the end of the
There we
rainbow.
go.
Thank you. We
There's
got
a
there.
pot of gold at the end of the tunnel.
And that is when Steph Curry retires. That is what that
It
is
is
for you, Jonathan Kuminga. If you wait till then, the oyster is open, the world is yours. I don't blame him for saying, yeah, but I could have that in Sacramento and we can find out tomorrow. And I can be, just like you said, I could be a star in Sacramento and, create my own path. And even if it's not being a star, I think it is just, I need to find out what my game is because I'm never going to be able to spread my wings when I have Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green yelling at me every day to fit into a box. That's fine for basketball purposes. But again, on a human level, Jonathan Kuminga had a certain amount of hype. He has shown, I think that's also the part of this that is the reason that gives it legs, right? Is Jonathan Kuminga isn't just a name. He isn't just somebody who has maybe some unlocked potential. We've seen enough of it to say there's proof of concept there. And I think it just creates a mess of a situation that, again, I can't even forget I just can't think of a sports situation in which I've seen such a fluid level of power, I guess, of who really does have the power in the negotiations. And really, I think I keep saying it. I don't necessarily know what it means, but I think Jonathan Kuminga, I have to applaud how him and his agent have handled this situation because I think it's very delicate. And I think they've done a good job of holding their side of leverage.
It's more than just money to me. I mean, it's way more than just money. Money is always part of it, right? Like if the organization isn't giving you your money, like that's one thing. But if your organization is kind of like, okay, well, we'll throw this deal at you, we'll throw this deal at you, but we really don't want you here. We're just doing it because, we're going to be stubborn.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like to me in this particular situation. And I know you said in terms of his production, I think the Warriors were third in terms of bench scoring last year in the entire league. And a big part of that was because of Jonathan Kuminga. So let him, like you said, spread his wings a little and find a little consistency as somebody who could play more minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the runway in Sacramento is there too, which is, again, I'm sure the thing. I don't think Jonathan Kuminga is living in San Francisco, living in the Bay Area and saying, boy, I just wish I could, hop down 80 and go to Sacramento. It seems like a beautiful place. Like, I think the opportunity is definitely the thing that entices Jonathan Kuminga the most about Sacramento. I think you also point out, like, I think there is maybe a little bit of, I think it would be fun to be just down the highway and jab you guys and say, hey, you could have had this, but instead you decided to, how dare you decide to pick Steph Curry over me? But I do think that there is some of that is driving him or would drive him. And, again, I think there is opportunity here in Sacramento. I think him and Keegan Murray playing off of each other. You kind of mentioned the Kings wanting to be a shoot first team. Him and Murray both being 6'8" plus forwards, I think they could be the 3-4 to kind of play. Now, is that the 3-4 to play next to Sabonis? Maybe is a different conversation. I'd love to be able to figure that out and give them the runway to figure it out. But I think those two work really well with each other. Again, those would be our two young pieces as well. I think there's at least something to get excited for, which I think is a big part of this too. Like, I don't know if the Kings are building towards a championship anytime soon, but it would be nice to have something that we can go to the arena to every game and know, look, we might lose by 15 or 20, but if Kuminga and Keegan Murray combine for 50 points, then there's something that we can, hang our head high on.
It's hard sometimes when you're stuck in the middle. I get it.
Yeah.
I've covered a lot of, teams that have been kind of stuck in the middle in terms of, do we blow it up and move on, or do we keep kind of just, be right there making the playoffs? It's hard. And sometimes I like what you said in the break, like just throw some of these young guys out there. Like sometimes just throw them out there, let them figure it out, and then let that build into something. It's tough to do as a fan. It's tough to do as an owner because you want to put a winning product out there, but this is professional sports. And sometimes if you're stuck in the middle, you just keep going round and round.
Absolutely. I mean, I always think that's the worst place to be, right? Yeah. Is in the middle, because especially, draft pick situation, It's not as if you're putting yourself in a good situation to get out of it. It's just really tough. You kind of are spinning your tires a lot when you're in the middle there. And it feels like, we not to bring it to a whole, wide scoping conversation about the Kings, but, it's really why when they traded De'Aaron Fox, you should have just said, this is our arrow pointing a certain direction, and everything should now be in the service of pointing in that direction. And that's kind of to what I was alluding to during the break. Like, again, just lean into the youth. If you're not going to be a team that is trying to, win playoff series, unless you already have a young core that you can say, hey, we're building up towards something. To me, it feels like the Kings are definitely trending down from whatever the original Beam team was. And this to me feels like them trying to hold on for dear life. And it's weird how just one player might be able to kind of change that perception a little. But to bring it back to Jonathan Kuminga, I feel like adding him, even if it is just to the current roster, tweaks things a little bit to where you can have some silver linings in some games.
And
right?
I think it would get people excited because, again, coming in here and learning more about the Kings, obviously I know basics about the Kings, but learning more and when, Fox is traded and there was mixed emotions about that, but having someone come here and bring a little energy, and then knowing that Kuminga, if this does happen, knowing what he went through with Golden State, where he has the chip on his shoulder, where, like you mentioned, now he's coming up to Sacramento and has a little bit more to play for. And that would make things, I think, exciting for the fans too, to know like this guy is going to give everything he can because he's getting his shot. Like this is his shot. He didn't really get it fully at Golden State. This is his shot to be a guy.
No, absolutely. And it would add another wrinkle to the rivalry too, which, like you said, I mean, would just give us a little bit more juice. I mean, there's already a lot of history of Kings and Warrior crossover, Mitch Richmond, Chris Webber, all of that kind of stuff. DeMarcus Cousins had a cup of tea in Golden State as well. And so it would be really fun throughout these years. Again, Kuminga being 22 years old, like you could really sign up for a lot of years of direct payback. And I think that part would be for sure the funnest part of if this does happen. I definitely think adding a little bit of juice to that Kings Warriors rivalry would definitely be the funnest part about it. But yet again, this is all very fluid to say the least. I wouldn't surprise me if we have something new on the Kuminga front tomorrow. Again, just to kind of get everyone caught up on things. Kings offered the Warriors Malik Monk in a protected 2030 first-round pick while giving Kuminga a 3-year, $63 million contract. The protections on the first-round pick were the sticking point in those negotiations, big reason why that hasn't gotten done. I wouldn't expect the Kings to drop those protections either. Just because, again, like while we are praising Jonathan Kuminga quite a bit, there still is an unknown on what his ceiling could be, what he does in terms of actually affecting team success and things like that. So I don't know if I would be fully willing to, it's not as if this was maybe weirdly enough, it feels like maybe if it was Ben Simmons or something back in his time. A little more proven
commodity at the time.
Exactly. Yeah. It just feels like there's still a little bit of assumed risk there. So I wouldn't want the Kings to lose that protection, but that again seems to be the big holdup in those negotiations. And according to Shams and Anthony Slater of ESPN, the Warriors recently offered Kuminga a 3-year, $75 million contract with a team option for the final season. But Aaron Turner, who we heard from, Jonathan Kuminga's agent, said that they would accept the multi-year deal from Golden State. However, they want it to be a player option instead of a team option in that final season. And that is mainly just for player control, obviously it being a player option instead of a team option. They want, if Jonathan Kuminga balls out, they want to be able to capitalize on that as quickly as possible. So that is where things currently stand on the Jonathan Kuminga front, again, there will be, I'm assuming, news by the end of the week. If not, pay attention to Warriors Media Day on Monday because it's going to be light and there might be some interviews from outside of the facility or something, right?
Meanwhile, Jimmy Butler is dressed in the goofiest costume you've ever seen.
I do think he's going to go back to doing that then.
It would be a good distraction. I mean, it would definitely be a way of
I hope he
diverting.
does.
I would hope so. I mean, it's his first one with Golden State, right? So he's got to give the people a little bit of taste of.
We should make bets on what he's going to do.
It was also pretty
there's gotta be
lame
something.
that they didn't let him do it last year.
Oh wow!
I mean, Pat Riley's not really commissioner of fun. I'm surprised that he let him do it the first couple.
I think you just do it and it doesn't matter. That's the thing that I mean, the most.
I agree.
It doesn't matter. The fact that they made him not do it is like it does not matter even a little bit.
It could not. I think. Yeah. I think it's just. I think it was just Pat Riley trying to flex any power that he felt like he had in the situation, and he is no longer under the rule of one Pat Riley. So I would expect some fun, especially it's going to be unfortunately one of his later media days. I don't know how much longer Jimmy Butler's going to be playing in the league. He's probably got 4 years left. I know he just signed that big contract, but 36 years old, Jimmy Butler. So we'll see. I'm sure he's going to have some fun with it. And I'm sure regardless of how many people end up being there for Warriors Media Day, it will be an eventful one and one that will be full of press clippings that we will get on Jonathan Kuminga questions. Coming up next, we will go over ESPN.com's NBA survey. The Kings unfortunately show up a couple different times in the worst category for an offseason, so we'll get into that a little bit. You're listening to the Allen Stiles Show, Sacktown Sports.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get ready for 2 epic showdowns of Monster Truck Madness at the Stockton Dirt Track, Saturday, October 4th. Feel the roar, the power, and the ground-pounding action. 2 shows, 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. Do you have what it takes to survive the madness? Get your tickets now at StocktonDirtTrack.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
I'm tired of being broken. I'm sick of feeling hopeless.
Hey, this is Jelly Roll. This National Recovery Month, start your recovery journey. Choose a proven addiction treatment option that's right for you at ChooseChangeCA.org.
Now's the time. Don't miss the Drive in the Fall event at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with 0% financing for 72 months on the new 2025 Ram 1500. The biggest selection, the best prices, and unmatched customer service. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Financing and approved credit. Ram at $1389 for $10,000 borrowed.
Mike Rowe here with another fun fact. If your concrete is cracked or uneven, you can actually lift it back up. Whether it's a sinking driveway, a patio, or a sidewalk, do yourself a favor.
Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys. They're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to lift your concrete slabs. Groundworks, official foundation repair company of Cal Athletics. Schedule a free inspection. Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
You've probably heard the word, but do you know what a stimp meter is and how it works? Invented by Edward Stimpson in the 1930s, a stimp meter is a device used to measure the speed of putting surfaces. His version was made of wood and was simply a chute on which a golf ball would roll onto the green. Roderick Easdale writes in Golf Magazine, today's stimp meters are made of aluminum. They're 36 inches long and have a V-shaped chute down which the ball can roll. It has 2 notches on which the ball rests. After a flat area of the green is selected, a golf ball is placed in the notch and the end is slowly lifted until the ball rolls down the chute and across the green. The average of 3 distances becomes one of the measurements. The process is repeated in the opposite direction, and the measure of both directions is added and divided by 2. That figure in feet is the stimp meter reading. Most courses average 9 or 10 on stimp meter, which is neither too fast or too slow, just right for most recreational players. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Alan Stiles Show, Sacktown Sports, Chris Watkins, Kayla Anderson, Kyle Ledbetter, other side of the glass. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is why they tell you not to assume anything. Because, well, you know how the saying goes. And earlier we were talking about the Niners and their very close win over the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday, and how there was a moment where Nick Bosa, as he's walking off the field in the first quarter, which he wasn't able to finish that game, he was walking off the field, and we assume he was looking towards his family up in the stands and gave a thumbs down in the stands, and we were kind of wondering, and I'll take the blame for it. I was like, oh, I assume that's probably more of like a not feeling good today, because it was more of just a, hey guys, how's it going? And then gave the thumbs down. It seemed more of like a, I don't know. It just didn't seem like it was that bad. It didn't seem as if he was alarmed, concerned. My leg. Just gave a thumbs down. I assumed it was a casual, not going to be able to give it a go today. Turns out it was a, might be really, really
when it
bad.
breaks, we have
really,
it first.
Really bad.
Sacktown Sports breaking news.
It's from Adam Schefter, ESPN. Puts on his X account. Test today showed that 49ers Pro Bowl D-end Nick Bosa suffered a season-ending torn ACL during Sunday's win over Arizona. Sources tell ESPN it's a clean tear, but Bosa will now need season-ending surgery. This is the second time Nick Bosa has torn his ACL in his NFL career. He first tore it week 2 of 2020 versus the Jets, and now week 3 of 2025 versus the Cardinals. Adam Schefter is putting that it is the same knee that he tore before. So obviously very, very, very bad news for the San Francisco 49ers. And it's the worst part of it for the Niners is it is just another name to the list of big name injuries that they have again this year. Again, I shouldn't assume now, but it appears that Brock Purdy is on the road to coming back. But you have him on the list. You have Juwan Jennings on the list. You have Brandon Ayuk. You have Kittle on IR for the next 3 weeks or two weeks. I think,
so it's this week. Then they play a Thursday night game, and then I think he comes back.
There you go. So at least it's a little bit of a time-wise a shorter recovery for Kittle, but just another name. And the Niners, the problem is as well, they're incredibly top heavy. And for all of these to be the top players on the team, it's just looking like yet another plagued year for the Niners. I mean, injuries really were the story of last year for them. And it's just been something that they have not been able to get over. It's not really something you can entirely plan for, but just a devastating injury for this Niners team.
Man, this is a big blow for the Niners defense. And just like you said, the team overall, because it's another big name. And Fred Warner can't take over the entire defense. Like, that guy is incredible football
he's
player.
Gonna try.
He's incredible. He's going to
try.
But it's really hard to do when week in and week out you're playing in the National Football League. I mean, no team as easy as you might think it is never going to be easy, especially now that they know that the Niners are starting to be down pieces. They're going to come out, these teams, and try to give them their best shot to beat this team. But Bosa in particular, just with what he's had production wise for the 49ers, no one can deny that. But this is a guy that has been banged up. I mean, every season it seems to be a little bit of something. Like last year, I know there was a hip injury in November. The year before, or 2022, he played with a groin strain. Like there's little bits and pieces to Joey Bosa that, as great of a player as he is, it seems like there's always a chance that he could possibly, not be able to finish the season. And I think you said it's the second torn ACL in his NFL career, and then he tore his ACL in high school.
Did he really?
Yeah.
So you thought, and I don't know if that's the same knee or not, but if it is, I mean, obviously that is a reoccurring sign. If not, then it's both knees that have been
exactly.
So
either
way you have it, it's not good news. And I think it's, I guess to flip it to more of a foot, like Michael Williams has looked good, at least as a positive. We'll really see how good he looks now, because of course there's always how much attention is being drawn on the other side of things. How easy does that make you? Well, now life is going to be a lot harder for him on that side of things. And I feel like the thing that I've been very consistent with the Niners is their offense is always good. We know Kyle Shanahan knows how to cook up an offense.
Sure.
To me, the thing that has separated the Niners from their really good competitive seasons to the seasons where they're Super Bowl is their defense. When their defense is a top 5 defense, they tend to be more so in that Super Bowl conversation. And it just feels like Robert Saleh's done a good job of kind of bringing the energy back to that side of the ball. But with Bosa out, you do correctly mention that they've at least been without him before in the past and maybe know how to play without him to an extent. But you can't fill a hole that Nick Bosa is going to leave. I mean, that guy is an absolute monster. Here I am sitting in this chair. I don't want to assume things, but I do wonder, like, this is a guy who physically is a freak. I wonder how much of that, his body might need to change in order to kind of not get hurt. Because again, I mean, this is a huge guy, muscles out, looking like Popeye. Like, I wonder how much of it is maybe too much stress on his lower body or just his body in general with how he carries himself in the offseason. I mean, we know this guy is one of those he stays ready so he doesn't have to get ready. And I wonder how much of his offseason training might need to change. I'm no expert on especially NFL level training, but it just makes me wonder with how many injuries he's stacked up, if maybe something weird's going on. Not weird, but maybe just something needs to change.
Was it 2 seasons ago? They did a big, huge feature on, I don't know if it was Monday Night Football, I believe it was, on how he changed his diet. So Nick Bosa had changed his diet, a lot of lean meats, like a lean protein kind of diet. It was very strict. Didn't say as much about the training part of it, but you could probably then jump to conclusions then that he's probably doing as much as he can for his body. And sometimes it's like overdoing that when you're an athlete. I mean, you've got the best of the best telling you what to do, but sometimes I almost think like it's like they're overdoing the off season to the point where now they get into season and we're 3 games in and here he is with an ACL. Sometimes it's just luck. But it's hard to kind of gauge like what it is, but it's unfortunate for the Niners and their defense, no doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, to the point of maybe it being his off, like Schefter does point out that his other ACL injury was in week 2 of that 2020 season. So it could be something to that. And I know when he did have his holdout, there was a lot of talk of, again, like, we're not concerned about him showing up to camp out of shape because we know he handles his own, but I do wonder how much of that. I know he does literally work out with, I believe him, his brother, and his dad work out together in Florida together. And something tells me that that's not a sweet science, or it might be a sweet science that they have to kind of figure out their training. Like, I think those guys are probably very traditional, I guess, for lack of a better term, in terms of like how they prepare for the season. I don't want to throw assumptions out there, but it just makes you wonder when Bosa's been going through all of these injuries, just what needs, something's got to change here. because they need him. And I mean, they've paid, again, with how they have structured their salaries or their contracts, they are paying a handful of guys a lot of money. And Bosa is one of those guys with a star. And if they're just going to get no production out of him or out of that spot, it's going to be really tough for this team to be successful, especially for this long. Losing him in week 3, you're going to have to figure out, we've seen them go that one season when they went to the Super Bowl, they brought in Chase Young, they brought in Randy Gregory. Like, they made a ton of moves along the defensive line to try and shore it up. I wonder if maybe we see John Lynch start to kind of get on the phones here pretty soon.
Or your young pieces are going to have to really, really step up. And I know Fred Warner mentioned in the presser that, D Winters, he's, playing with him a little bit next to him, and he brings some speed and violence. But again, these guys are really young. Like, they're going to have to grow up in real time. And maybe that works, or like you said, maybe Lynch is going to have to bring in some pieces.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see what happens. I'm sure we'll hear more about this in the probably in the next 20 minutes. I would assume Kyle Shanahan's got to step to the podium, and we'll hear more about that. But again, Nick Bosa out for the season after tearing his ACL on Sunday. Very, very breaking news when it comes to the San Francisco 49ers. So that will be something that we continue to keep track of. Coming up next, I mean, I guess we should maybe look at how this impacts the 49ers and the NFC West as we look at how this injury could impact the Niners season. You're listening to the Allen Stiles Show, Sacktown Sports.
With Progressive, it's easy to reach customer service with our app, website, chat, or by phone. Because when getting help is hard, it's not help at all.
A little help. A little help over here.
Thank you for calling Bench Press Assistance.
What?
Due to excessive gym volume, all available spotters are currently lifting heavy weights off the chests of other bench pressers.
Seriously?
Please continue to hold, and we will remove the barbell from your chest in the order in which your cry for help was received.
Getting assistance should be easy. With Progressive, it is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hi, I'm Michael from the War and Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5 milligram, 1 milligram, and 2 milligrams.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip, if a firm presents as local, but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton and Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Paid for by Action Matters.
Attention former and present inmates of women's prisons in California. If you are currently or were an inmate of Central California Women's Facility in Chowchilla, also known as Chowchilla Women's Facility, Valley State Prison for Women in Chowchilla, Institute for Women in Chino, or Folsom Women's Facility in Represa, and were a victim of sexual abuse, now is the time to come forward, as you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. If you were an inmate at any of these prisons at any time and were subjected to sexual abuse from staff members, you may be entitled to substantial cash compensation. Call our California Women's Prison Helpline now at 800-408-1240. The deadline to file a claim may be close. Call now to get the justice, closure, and the financial settlement you deserve. Even if it was long ago, call our law firm's Women's Prison Sexual Abuse Helpline right now at 800-408-1240. 800-408-1240. 800-408-1240.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Brought to you by Xfinity. Sports are unpredictable. The price of your internet shouldn't be. Introducing the 5-year price guarantee. One consistent internet price for 5 years with no annual contracts. Guaranteed.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Welcome back to the Allen Stiles Show. Chris Watkins, joined by Kayla Anderson, also Kyle Ledbetter on the other side of the glass.
You have to say it.
Yeah,
every
now
time.
I have to say it, and I got to say it with a smile every time. As we are breaking down the breaking news that Nick Bosa will be out for the season after tearing his ACL on Sunday I believe it was in the first quarter of that game against the Arizona Cardinals. Just an absolutely brutal loss for the 49ers, who again have been without Brock Purdy, George Kittle, Juwan Jennings, of course, Brandon Ayuk as well. Now you add Bosa to the list, and not even to mention Christian McCaffrey, as we know, is just, I feel bad calling him a ticking time bomb, but it's like, he was on the injury report heading into the season. Then it was a little bit of crickets with both of his calves. We're still not sure the status of his health, really, if he's truly 100%. Hasn't quite looked like the Christian McCaffrey we know. Hasn't been bad by any stretch, but hasn't necessarily had those moments where he's just absolutely game breaking. So TBD on that. That's always something to monitor for sure. You never know when, especially as a fantasy football manager, Christian McCaffrey is going to get that red flag next to him. He's going to have a random Q next to him. So, just really scary times for the 49ers, who at least will play the Jacksonville Jaguars this Sunday. Jaguars 2-1 so far on the year. But if you've watched any of that, it has not looked pretty. And I think the Niners either last year or a couple of years ago played Jacksonville in San Francisco in a similar situation where both teams were kind of trying to figure out early in the year where they were at. Niners absolutely dominated Jacksonville in that one. So we'll see. Again, their defense is not what it's been in the past as well. Maybe even with all these injuries, you do have to factor in, like you see Talanoa Hufanga absolutely killing it for the Broncos on Sunday. You see some of the old Niners spread across the NFL making big plays. And
Charvarius Ward was playing good.
Ward,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's right.
you just see so many guys across the league, making plays that used to make plays for the Niners, and it reminds you just how different this unit is that they have. Trent Williams still looking healthy, which is good. Of course, he's kind of these past couple of years dealt with injury, so things are holding on for the 49ers right now as they head into only week 4, just a month into the season. And the Niners at least are sitting at the top of the division, 3-0 right now. But the problem is the rest of the division is right on their tails. All the other teams, the Cardinals, Seahawks, and Rams, all 2-1. Cardinals and Seahawks will play each other this weekend in Arizona. So that will be at least some form of an answer into which one of those two teams is the better of the two. I think
that's the Thursday night game this week.
Is it
too.
the Thursday night game?
It is. Yeah, it's a short week because I think Arizona might be in trouble for that fact.
Yeah, that's not looking great for them. And then Kyle, I know we had mentioned that Arizona's DBs heading into that Niners game were out. I don't know.
So Garrett Williams, their starting corners on IR.
James Conner, right?
James Conner as well gets added to the.
James Conner. That's a brutal one.
That was brutal. That
Will
was nasty.
Johnson didn't play for them, and their backup corner, Keitrell Clark, was getting cooked by Ricky Pearsall on Sunday.
Yeah.
So, quarterback room is not looking great, but I don't know. They got Calais Campbell, and he had a safety.
Their defense looked okay.
He's 39, guys.
Insane. Looked unstoppable.
What in the world, man? Or whatever he's doing is in his offseason workouts, which is probably not a lot. Let's all do that.
Gladly. I'll gladly take on the Calais.
What's crazy for him, too, is they were talking about it during the game. He had a great quote that's like, I want to squeeze every bit of juice out of this season and then see about retirement. He's thinking about playing at 40.
That's incredible. And for the Cardinals, too. It's not as if he's, out here, competing every single year.
He almost won them the game.
Just for the spirit of the game. He really almost did. I mean, if Dominic Pooney didn't hold, I feel like that was going to be a safety. So good on Pooney, I guess, for trying to get away with it. It was minor, but still, I mean, it was incredible. Yeah, to see Calais Campbell at his age still moving too. Like,
he's
really
not a kicker
moving.
or a punter, guys. Like, he's playing a pretty big physical position.
They're basically using him as like a fourth quarter gadget guy. Like he just doesn't play the parts of the game early, and then they just stick him in the fourth quarter. And I think he had a sack on Bryce Young to win week 2. Had the safety this week. It's just like
incredible.
It's insane. 39-year-old can't play all the time, but he's still winning games for the Cardinals.
Incredible.
It's insane.
And yeah, I mean, Kyle, we talked a lot of mess about the Cardinals defense traditionally. I think they actually looked pretty, again, backup quarterback in Mac Jones, but I think they at least held their own on Sunday, and dare I say, looked pretty good, especially considering the lack of corner depth that they had or were dealing with.
But they've got a lot of safeties. Their third best one picked off Mac Jones.
Yeah, and you still see Budda Baker doing his thing too. So, excuse me. Ooh, let's not go back there. Let's not go back to Strepland. But yeah, so things are looking good, at least for the time being for the Niners. But scary times. Again, the Cardinals, Seahawks play each other this weekend. We'll see about the Seahawks. I mean, they absolutely dominated the Saints.
Yeah,
I don't know what we're supposed to take from that. I guess they
Saints
looked
are
better.
bad.
They looked better against the Saints than I guess the Niners looked against the Saints. But again, there's only so much you can take from that kind of math before things start getting a little bit squirrely. So at least the Seahawks have shown to have a little bit of life. We'll see kind of with their new coaching staff what they can build in terms of an identity. Sam Darnold looked a lot better in week 3 than he did in week 2 and week 1. So we'll see who really emerges from those two teams as a team that might be one to look out for. But personally, I'm looking out for the Rams. If I'm the Niners. I know the Rams and the Niners have a weird rivalry. I can't remember which side the Niners. I feel like the Niners usually end up on the right side of that, if I remember correctly. But I'm sure Niner fans will be quick to correct me if I'm wrong. But to me, the Rams, their performance, I know they They choke against the Eagles. They were up 26-7, I want to say, at one point in the third quarter, end up losing that one. But when it was looking right, in my opinion, the Rams looked like a team that could, they were beating the Eagles. That's the team to beat in the NFC. Obviously didn't get it done, but I feel like I saw enough to at least proof of concept say, I feel like the Rams are if it's not the Eagles, that's the team that I'm looking at. And if you're the Niners, that's the team in the division that I would probably be the most concerned about.
I think you're right. I think they look the most complete right now. And you're right, Chris. In the past 5 years, they've got a 7-3 record against the Rams. So they definitely have their number when it comes to this divisional rivalry. Matthew Stafford, look, I'll be the first to admit he does keep surprising me in terms of at his age, some of the injuries that he has suffered. He's got weapons, though. Look at Puka Nacua. Look at what he is doing this year to start the season. He's off to a great start. And then their defense. Their defense has been really, really good. Some of those young pieces in the last couple of years have grown up really fast. Yeah. So I would agree with you. I think that's the biggest test for the Niners that's coming up in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to be the matchup to watch out for in that division. We'll see how that ends up shaking out. I'm trying to see right here where those two end up actually squaring off against each other. That's going to be in a couple weeks, actually. That's going to be Thursday night as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's the last game without Kittle, possibly Ayuk.
That's right.
Okay, so that won't even be the Niners at full strength.
No, it might still be McCorkle.
Oh, I love that. When you said McCorkle, I had to actually look it up, and then I remembered that's his real name.
McCorkle Jones.
I love calling him McCorkle.
Kind of crazy. I've never heard anybody named McCorkle. Mackenzie, maybe, but McCorkle is kind of crazy.
So weird.
So yeah, that Rams-Niners matchup will be October 2nd, Thursday night football in a couple weeks. Definitely looking forward to that one, even though, the Niners probably won't be, or definitely won't be at full strength in that one. Again, for those who have not heard, Nick Bosa, breaking news, out for the season with a torn ACL. So absolutely huge blow for the San Francisco 49ers for the entirety of the season. It'll be interesting to see how they bounce back from that one. Coming back, we will get into a little bit of Kings talk as we start to get you ready for Media Day next Monday, as the season is right around the corner. We're going to preview every position this week, and we're going to start with the point guards for the Sacramento Kings and where things stand as of right now. You're listening to the Allen Stiles Show, Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
Footballs are flying. The days are getting shorter. Fall is officially here. Will your heater be able to get you through the winter? The heater at Whiteywood shut down last winter. So who did we call? Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. We wanted somebody we could trust to do the job right and deliver great value. And Lee's came through. Check them out at leesair.com. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating has built a reputation as the leading HVAC company in Sacramento. We've got a new HVAC system that works great, saves us money month to month. Find out how they can help you at leesair.com. License number 635355.
The deals are on now at the model year-end sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save on year-end models and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by Malik Monk. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Alan Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
No Alan Stiles. He will be joining us next Monday, back from his little break. For this week, you got myself, Chris Watkins. Got Kayla Anderson joining us. And on the other side of the glass, come on. You know, it's Kyle Ledbetter.
I'm still here.
Still here. Still here, Kyle Ledbetter. Not going anywhere. So
I hope.
Well, yeah. Let's hope.
Don't get an injury.
Yeah, that's the big thing. I mean, they're rampant right now.
I know. I feel like we're just like giving them away like a cold or a flu.
They are definitely getting handed out like hotcakes right now.
Kayla just said something that clocked in my head because every year I feel like every one of these football shows is like, can you believe the amount of injuries this year? This is every year in the NFL.
Yes, no, literally I can't.
We don't talk about enough. It's just by week 8, half the league is on injured reserve.
No, we're just talking about the people who are out for the season. Like, I mean, again, being very Vikings focused, like there was a lot of backup quarterbacks out there this week too.
Truth.
And we're talking week 3, and there was, I think, 6 teams with backup quarterbacks, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, the Vikings was a backup bowl of Jake Browning and Carson Wentz. You had Marcus Mariota out there.
You had
Mac Jones. You had Tyrod out there.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say there was one other one as well. I mean, you could just call Spencer Rattler back up if you want.
Might as well.
So yeah, I mean, it just
they
feels
benched
like
Michael Penix for Kirk Cousins.
Did get benched. Yeah, fourth quarter. I saw.
They got blanked, you guys.
Crazy.
Oh,
to the Panthers.
Carolina Panthers.
So we're gonna have to burn the tape because we did our game
There's a couple
previews
teams that
on
have to
Friday. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
We did game previews on Friday. I said the Panthers might be the worst defense in the NFL, and then they put up 0 against the Falcons. So new worst defense in the NFL.
New defense just dropped. New worst defense just dropped.
New worst defense. I'm gonna go Raiders.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a bad shout.
I also didn't watch.
It's tough. I don't know.
I also didn't watch a lot of the morning game. What actually happened to the Falcons? Like they turned it over.
Never got it going. Yeah. There was a lot of. I think Penix turned the ball over twice. I want to say there was a fumble too that I saw, and then, yeah. I mean, it was just a rout, really. I mean, they really weren't close at all. They never got anything going. It was a really weird week of football. And yeah, again, we mentioned the amount of block kicks. Like there was randomly just special team stuff left and right, game winning kicks.
Yeah.
On top of it, there would be a block kick. And then a minute later you would take a game winning kick. So it was just a wild football weekend. And as we're getting news of, like Nick Bosa out for the season, it continues to look like an even crazier week than it even felt. And we're not even done yet. Again, we have Lions-Ravens tonight, 2 teams that I think both have something to prove. The Ravens, I think a lot of people are still, even though the Ravens won last week against the Browns, they absolutely dominated them. Looks like a better win now than it did last week. But I think a lot of people still have that sour taste from Sunday Night Football week 1, them blowing that game to the Bills. And then the Lions. Lions got destroyed week 1 against the Packers, come out week 2, absolutely blow the doors off the Bears. This could be a really quality win, and I think a lot of people are doubting, if the Lions are going to continue to look how they've looked without Aaron Glenn, without Ben Johnson as well. So I think both teams have a lot to prove tonight, and I'm really curious who's going to be the better side, or if it is going to be an even matchup. I think we've seen a lot of the times the Ravens tend to really show up in these big primetime regular season games.
I think so too. And Lamar Jackson, I think he specifically is really good in prime time.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has like 22 touchdowns. Like the numbers are phenomenal for Lamar Jackson. Like when the lights are on him, he really does shine. But you brought up the point about losing Ben Johnson, losing Aaron Glenn in terms of the coordinators up in Detroit is really, he being the head coach up there, I'm just spacing his name, Dan Campbell. Is he really the guy that can run the show? Or are those the guys that were running the show that were his coordinators? Jared Goff poor week 1, but then, was able to kind of get his numbers up again. Yeah. They have one of the better offenses. So are we going to see an offensive explosion, or are we going to see the opposite in this game? That's what I'm interested to see.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really good point. And yeah, to me, their loss of coordinators, and not just everybody talks about the coordinators, but the position coaches that go along with them as well. When you lose your offense and defensive staffs completely,
it's a lot.
You're pretty much building from scratch, and how much of that success was directly, to your point, linked to Ben Johnson and the type of offense he was running, the kind of comfort he could get Jared Goff, who I think we don't forget, obviously, his career was a little shaky before he got to Detroit. He was a throw-in in the Matt Stafford trade, and so I think I'm just going to be fascinated with the Lions in general these first couple weeks, trying to figure out what exactly they are, what they have left. You mentioned, just in general, their offensive staff is their players, their actual staff of players, incredible. Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, maybe the best offensive line in football as well. Penei Sewell, in their defense, even when Aaron Glenn was there, was a little bit hit or miss. It was a little shaky. It was a defense that definitely took chances. And so we'll see where they stand in terms of the overall hierarchy, the tier lists of the NFL. But I think regardless, both of these teams, as it stands right now, are two of the better teams, definitely two of the more entertaining teams in the NFL. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And I'd assume, Kyle, we got that on Sacktown Sports later today, I would assume. Yeah, Monday Night Football.
That is correct.
All
yes.
Right, cool. So the Drive guys will have a shorter program for you today leading into Monday Night Football. Again, Lions going against the I almost called them the Baltimore Ravens. I don't know why I almost called them Arizona. Should be they're all birds.
Right?
Yes. And by the way, last week, all birds won. I don't know what the record is on the birds last week. Yeah, it was
I know the Seahawks won.
We know the Seahawks won. Well, we know the Cardinals lost. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. We know the Cardinals lost.
Don't clip that.
So,
Eagles won at the end.
Eagles won at the end. Falcons lost.
Falcons got blanked by the Panthers, which I can't say enough because it's so funny.
So there you go. There's your bird report, your
Mixed
bird
review.
watch for the week. Little bit shaky, and then we'll see what happens with the Ravens tonight. Now let's get into a little preview where we're again, Kings Media Day is on Monday, where you can hear all your favorite Sacramento Kings, and Doug Christie will be on these airwaves as well. Maybe we'll get Scott Perry to sit down for a little interview as well, but that's going to be on Monday. So to get you ready for the Kings season, which, by the way, training camp will commence after Media Day. And so, they will be in Sacramento practicing, ready to get going for preseason basketball early October. We're going to get you ready for them getting ready. And we're going to start with the point guards, and we'll just kind of cover it all. We'll cover what the Kings did last season at point guard, what it's trending to look like this season, kind of get you familiar with the Kings' potential rotation, and just have a general conversation, because I definitely think point guard is going to be, as was a hot button topic coming out of last season. I think it's just going to be a very important position for the Kings to try and figure out what they're going to do heading into this season. So as all things should start when framing this season, I think it's important to put into context where the point guard position was pre and post De'Aaron Fox trade. Obviously, De'Aaron Fox ran the show when he was here in Sacramento, but the guys who were alongside him, Malik Monk and I think DeMar DeRozan, are the two that I want to specifically focus on when it comes to what happened to the Kings playmaking post De'Aaron Fox. Before / with De'Aaron, Malik Monk, 41 games, about 32 minutes per game, averaged 5.9 assists, 18 points as well, with those 5.9 assists. And then for DeMar DeRozan, 44 games, about just under 36 minutes, he averaged 3.6 assists on 21 points with De'Aaron Fox. However, De'Aaron Fox gets moved, and in 34 games after the De'Aaron Fox trade, DeMar DeRozan's assists go from 3.6 all the way up to 5.6 in 34 versus 44 games. In those 34 games, 5.6 assists up from 3.6. Malik stayed pretty stagnant, which I thought was interesting because he's really the one that, if you were to say who took the most playmaking role after De'Aaron moved, you would have said, well, Malik kind of was forced to play more point guard, to have the ball in his hands more, to be more of the floor general. The numbers really don't back that up at all. Again, 41 games pre-De'Aaron Fox trade, Malik Monk 5.9 assists. After De'Aaron Fox gets moved, 25 games, 5.1 assists. So it technically goes down, but for the most part, you can just say he pretty much stayed about the same in terms of the actual assists. Now, is that a perfect science? People will tell you, assists aren't everything, and, there might be total passes and all those kind of things, but we're just going to keep it very surface level on that and just kind of keep it to the assists. And I think obviously DeRozan taking two assists more a game really, to me, does highlight just how much more he had the ball in his hands. Minutes didn't really go up. Again, pre-De'Aaron Fox trade, DeRozan was at 35.8 minutes. Post-De'Aaron Fox trade, 36.1. So really not much different in terms of minutes per game, but he goes up 2 points per game and goes up 2 assists per game. So just clearly had the ball in his hands more without De'Aaron Fox on the roster. And I just think first and foremost to start, like that can't be the case. I think a lot of the bad that we saw in the second half of last season stemmed from a lot of ISO ball. It stemmed from a lot of them playing half court. Of course, De'Aaron Fox, maybe the fastest point guard in the NBA. You want to play up tempo. You get rid of him. Now you have a new player in Zach LaVine who's got to figure out how to play with all of these teammates. You have Domantas Sabonis, who is not a speedster, not a track star by any stretch. You have DeMar DeRozan, who's 35, 36 years old. They played more of a half-court game at that point. They wanted to slow things down. They wanted to get DeMar DeRozan into these isolation situations, get Zach LaVine, all that kind of stuff. Just led to more stagnant offense. And I think I'm not blaming DeMar for it. I'm not saying DeMar ball hogged or anything like that. You can say that if you want. I'm more just saying I think with DeMar having the ball in his hands, it just leads to that kind of offense happening. So I think the priority number one, and it brings us into what the picture more so looks like this season, you bring in Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder, he's not your household name, first off. I think that's the most obvious thing is, as the Kings, again, Domantas Sabonis in his exit interviews literally says, we need a point guard. We need a point guard. Well, it was tough to not play without a point guard. So it's very obvious that the Kings need to address the point guard position going into the season. I don't know how people would have felt if you told them the next day that Dennis Schroeder is going to be that answer. It feels like the nature of Dennis Schroeder is just, okay, good. It's not going to get you excited, but you kind of look at his numbers, and I think I've kind of been championing it. It's not as if Dennis Schroeder is going to be an all-star. I just think he's solid. And if you think that's bad, I totally understand. And I would sell it as a good. I think it's just, he is a lot closer to 25th through 30th best starting point guard in the NBA than anything else. He's a lot closer to that than 15, but I think it's okay. I think it's good enough. I think he's probably not going to be the answer long term, but to me, he's somebody who you can put in and feel okay about it, right? Like, it's not, again, he's not, gonna necessarily win you 5 more games than you should, but at the end of the day, I think he's a solid presence that you can put in, set and forget. And frankly, I mean, it's to me, it's more on the other guys to win. Your nights shouldn't come down to, this is going to be, we need Dennis Schroeder to have a 25-point night in order for us to win. So Dennis Schroeder currently slated as the starting point guard. Last season, he played for 3 different teams, which is kind of crazy. Brooklyn, 23 games, which was his best stint, 18 points per game, 6.6 assists. The reason why he was no longer with the Brooklyn Nets, frankly, because he suffered from too much success. He was doing too well. Brooklyn last season had no intentions of winning. Brooklyn,
I had no idea they were 10
and 13.
Yeah.
I looked it up. They were 10 and 13.
That's shocking.
That is why they let go of Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah, on a team,
literally because he was playing too well.
On a team where Cam Thomas had like 25 points per game and got a $6 million contract.
Insane. Bless Jordy Fernandez. We love Jordy over here. Jordy is now, I think I saw a report. I didn't get an actual average age, but there are reports that the Brooklyn Nets are shaping up to have the youngest roster in NBA history this next season. So, we'll be thinking of Jordy Fernandez.
That means veteran presence, Michael Porter Jr.
That's exactly what that means. That is the definition, Kyle, of the blind leading the blind.
Uh-huh.
That is not what you want. Michael Porter Jr. as the most veteran in your locker room. I digress. He had 24 games, Dennis Schroeder did, for the Warriors last season. I think a lot of people were very familiar, especially locally, with that stint. Didn't go well at all. I don't think the Warriors enjoyed his time. He got 18 starts for them, 10 points per game, 4.4 assists. Really wasn't anything very memorable. It was a clunky fit with him and Steph. It really didn't work out. But I think if Kings fans are looking to what they should hope from Dennis Schroeder, to me, it's more of the Pistons stretch. The Brooklyn stretch, that's just him being able to spread his legs and kind of cook with not a lot of ingredients. I think in Detroit, that was more of a role for him. 8 starts, 28 games, 10 points per game, 5 assists. To me, the playoffs was really where you see what I'm expecting from him. 12 points per game, 3.7 assists. I think that's more of Cade Cunningham having the ball in his hands a ton. He's more of a playing off the ball. He's also probably playing more so with Cade, maybe off the floor as well. So it's a little bit more of sharing, trying to get multiple people involved. 6 games in that playoff series, 49% from the field, 47% from 3 in those 6 games. I'm expecting Schroeder to be somewhere near 35, 36, 37% from 3. But again, that's showing capability of, even if it is a 6-game series, showing the ability to knock down the shot absolutely is going to be huge for Dennis Schroeder this year, as playing next to DeMar DeRozan, maybe playing next to Keon Ellis, playing with Domantas Sabonis. They're going to need people to stretch the floor. Dennis Schroeder's got to be able to do that.
I have a question for you on
Please,
Schroeder, because I did some research on him. And like you said, he's not a name that like strikes like you right away. Over in Europe, though, he might be that. And I know that his Germany team had just won the Euro basketball for 2025, this last one. Yep. So a lot of people, when I was reading some of these articles, a lot of people were saying, well, he's so good when he plays over in Europe, but the NBA is a whole different beast. Yeah. And to pick your brain specifically about that, like, why is it that maybe he hasn't been able to reach the level of success that when you see him play over at Europe, he kind of shines over here? Yeah. He's kind of just that bench player behind. He's not the starter. Like this year, he will be the starting point guard, but why has he not found that success?
I think it has a lot to do with the human side of it. It's
really?
The comfort.
Okay.
I mean, like, to me, it's you look at, I mean, last year is a perfect 3 teams last year. Yeah. I think it's really hard as a person to find comfort, to feel like I know what I am, what is NBA players more than anybody talk about expectations and how important it's okay if I don't play on a day. It's okay if my minutes are pulled left and right. I just need communication. I need to know what it is that you want from me. So A, I know how to prepare, but B, I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm not, riding this emotional roller coaster every single night. And again, just basketball players especially can be so mentally fragile just because of routine and everything that goes into it. And the fact there's only 5 guys that are getting minutes. There's so much that goes into it. My short answer would just be comfort, but to get a little bit deeper, I mean, I think some of it is opportunity as well. Like you see those Brooklyn numbers that he had.
That was his best stretch almost, when he could just kind of play free and knew that there was nothing on his back. Absolutely.
And I think the funny thing is, it wouldn't surprise me if at some point you need him to play like that. Sure. I think that's the thing that I think he's hoping to get out of this Sacramento experience is kind of like what we talked about with Kuminga. There's a little bit of an opportunity here, right? Like there definitely is a little bit of a window to say, again, just like Kuminga, I've shown something. Now there's levels to it, whatever, but I've shown capability to show more in the league than what I have put on tape. I would like an opportunity that maybe at least gives me opportunities to show that. And I think he's hoping that, because when he was first drafted, he was with Atlanta for a long time. Mm-hmm. And when you're drafted, it's always so weird because, especially as a first round pick, you're the eye, everybody, you're the savior, everything. You're young. you can be anything, and it's a lot of figuring out what you are versus what you can be versus resetting expectations. So it kind of takes a little bit of time to kind of find your footing. And to me, yeah, I think ultimately this is whatever this stretch with the Kings is going to be is ultimately going to be, I think, maybe it's a bit dramatic, but I think contextually, especially, it's going to define who Dennis Schroeder is going to be as an NBA player, how he's going to be remembered, because he's 30, I want to say he's 30 or 31 years old. So he's right in the smack of his prime for an NBA player. There's an opportunity here in Sacramento to make some form of a name for himself. He's never had this clear of a runway to be a starting point guard.
Here's your opportunity.
And also, it wouldn't surprise me if, Domantas Sabonis, DeMar DeRozan, these guys get hurt.
Yeah.
Again, there's going to be an opportunity for him to step up and maybe show. I'm not going to ask him to score 18 a game, but can you be 15, 16 a game, be consistent? And I think the big unknown for me personally, and I try and watch as much basketball as I can, but how much of a playmaker is he going to be? Like, if you're the point guard, we just kind of went through the numbers. The Kings were a little by committee last year in terms of playmaking and being a point guard, but how much of that responsibility can he shoulder, I think is going to be just the question mark that we need answered.
It's a fair point.
For all of next year, because yeah, I mean, they just don't have a true playmaker. I think when you look at even the other options that they have, Devin Carter is the only other guy that you could say is a true point guard. You can go Isaiah Stevens. I'm not going to go that deep into two-way guys, but Devin Carter is somebody who they drafted last year. He missed the first 34 games of the season with his torn labrum in his shoulder, played 36 games. I didn't realize the numbers looked this bad, because feel-wise, it was some games felt good for Devin. Others weren't so great. Others were very forgettable. 3.8 points per game, 37% from the field, 29.5% from three for Devin Carter in his rookie season. Those are all terrible.
If it helps too, he played, I believe it was 400 total minutes, basically the whole season.
Yeah.
Which for reference, Keon Ellis was like 1,600.
Right. Yes.
So he played, even in those 39 games, very little minutes.
Very, very little minutes. Like, I think his career highs, I think he had like a 16-point game, had a couple rebounds, had a couple assists, had a couple steals in that one. So it's very small sample size, to say the least, what we've seen from Devin Carter. We did get to see him a little bit more in Summer League this summer. 14.5 points per game throughout Summer League, 40% from the field, 28% from three. That number is super concerning. His three-point shot, if you just look at his jump shot, it's not pretty. It's not something that anybody's going to draw up. And so when you look at the numbers kind of reflect how it looks, that's where things get concerning with Devin Carter. 4.5 assists per game during Summer League, 1.7 steals, which is to me the thing that, can we just see the defense from Devin Carter?
That's what I was going to say. Please. Isn't this a guy who has the defensive ability? We got to see him hone in a little more to those skills.
100%. Yeah. I mean, he's a great athlete. I want to say at the combine, he had a record for like the highest vertical leap or something like that. Not that it's at all a measurement, but like, I know NBA 2K has him as the fastest player in 2K. That's gotta be off something.
That. Yeah.
It's gotta be off something. So, the bigger point is there's some athleticism there. Like, and that's the thing that I'm hoping to see with Devin Carter is I would be great to see some point guard skills. It'd be great to see him knock down the 3-point shot. I know you're an athlete. I know your college film has tons of defensive highlights in it. Can we just see that? Like, can we see some form of, I know that this is your NBA skill?
Yes.
That's what I want to see out of Devin Carter this year. To me, everything else, I just don't know what to do with him. I don't know about his shoulder. His shoulder seemed to be bothering him in Vegas for Summer League. And it's a year post-surgery. So it's just a really, really concerning I shouldn't say really concerning, but it's something that I just can't get out of the back of my mind.
Right?
You have to. And especially in basketball, right? Like, you're diving on the floor, you're, trying to navigate through bodies, screens, all of it. You get bumped, and there's just so many small things that can happen that can hurt it. And who knows? I don't know how long those things typically take to recover in terms of, you might be back from the injury, but are you yourself? Are you back? Maybe it is more of a 2-year comfort kind of thing with your shoulder. We'll see. I think it's going to be a big year for Devin Carter, trying to figure out what exactly he is. He's obviously been thrown into a ton of trade rumors as well, especially when it comes to this Jonathan Kuminga saga. Will Devin Carter even be on the team past the trade deadline? I think is an interesting question. He is one of their trade pieces. They don't have, I guess, a lot of non-draft picks that are very exciting to others. I don't know how exciting Devin Carter is to other teams. And so, yeah, I mean, that pretty much rounds it out. Again, I'm not going to go into Isaiah Stevens on his two-way contract. To me, the other option is Malik Monk, who, again, we discussed in terms of how he did in a post-De'Aaron Fox world. Malik, again, I can read out the numbers. Post-De'Aaron Fox trade, 25 games, 15.8 points per game, 5.1 assists per game. His scoring went down and his assists went down post De'Aaron Fox, which is just not something you would have guessed. You would have guessed more opportunity. He's going to have the ball in his hands more. And for all of his numbers to go down post De'Aaron Fox, I mean, I think it's okay to ask, like, do we want to see Malik Monk, somebody who has been such a positive, somebody who's given us real juice? Do you want to put him in a situation where maybe he's not going to be his best, and then you're also not getting what it is that you expect to get from a Malik Monk?
And that was my thing too, coming in here, learning more about the Kings. Like, it seems like a lot of people like Malik. And although he has been really the center of some of, like, if you're going to trade this year, Malik Monk is who you're going to trade for,
it's
or trade,
too.
too.
Yeah.
So it is interesting in terms of what they think of him versus what fans really have embraced.
And we haven't really gotten to the bottom of that either, which is pretty
interesting.
strange. It's very strange how it has been very clear that the organization, for whatever reason, wants Malik Monk gone.
Russell Westbrook time.
I mean,
and I heard you guys talk about that.
It's crazy, and especially for it to be for that as well, that they are willing to move off of Malik Monk to get Russell Westbrook in the building. These are what the reports are saying. I guess we do have to say that, but it is just strange because you're completely right. Your read on it is perfect. Like, fans love Malik Monk. He is the guy who comes in, everybody has faith. He's the guy who a big shot goes up and he takes it. Everyone believes it goes in. He gets the loudest pop, all of it. He is the closest that we have gotten to Bobby Jackson since Bobby Jackson. And so
I'm a pizza guy.
And he's a pizza. How can I forget? He's a pizza guy.
I'm a pizza guy.
Come on.
Gotta love pizza.
That is a very illustrious category too. It's Isaiah Thomas.
Come on.
Him.
Ben McLemore.
Ben McLemore.
And Doug Christie.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah. Doug Christie.
And Doug Christie.
By the way,
what a weird group.
I probably have too big of a platform right now to say this, but, like, we haven't looked into Malik Monk, like, impermissible benefits from pizza guys. Like, come on.
There you go.
All
Like
this Kawhi
aspiration.
Leonard stuff going on.
Nobody's
going to look into pizza guys, potentially throw Malik Monk the bag.
I'll say this. It was definitely not a no-show job because
we know that
his face was all over those pizza boxes all year.
Come on. Absolutely. Yeah, so looking forward to that. And, just trying to figure out where the Kings point guard situation is going to be. And I can't wait. I really can't wait to hear what the guys say as well. Again, Monday, we will be out at Media Day. I'm sure Alan will directly ask, what have you been told your role will be for this season? Even if it's not true, I would love to hear what those guys have to say on what it is that they are cooking up this season. Coming up next, we're going to get into a little ESPN.com NBA survey that included the Kings in some categories that we just don't want to be included in. And our boy Dennis Schroeder, unfortunately, had to take a lump. I'll let you know what we're talking about. Coming up next, Alan Stiles Show, Sacktown Sports.
Alan Stiles here with your Sacktown Sports Injury Report, brought to you by Downtown LA Law Group. Joey Estes, out with that herniated disc in his lower back, is expected to return in 2026 after undergoing successful surgery in LA from Dr. Robert Watkins. Denzel Clark, out with that right adductor strain, expected to return in late September after going through a running and hitting progression in Arizona. That was your injury report, brought to you by DTLA Law Group.
Hey, I'm Alan Stiles. Injured at work? Call downtown. DTLA Law Group, California's leading injury law firm. With over 40 lawyers throughout California, they have won over $500 million in settlements. DTLA Law Group will get you compensation for your work injury. You don't pay unless they win. That's right. You'd pay $0 up front. Call downtown. Text Injury Help to 40222. That's Injury Help to 40222. Visit them at calldowntown.com. Text charges may apply.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
When you stay in your home, what you love gets to stay too. From the gardens that grow wild to the grandkids that run wilder. From the Friday night baseball games to the Sunday morning brunches. Even the daily crosswords and weekly book clubs. There's room for it all with help from Home Instead, the largest in-home senior care network with over 30 years of trusted experience delivering the peace of mind you deserve. Visit Home Instead online for a better what's next.
Hi, I'm Michael from the War and Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5 milligram, 1 milligram, and 2 milligrams.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Welcome in to the Alan Stiles Show. No Alan Stiles, Chris Watkins. Bringing you all the way up until, 2 o'clock, right? 2 o'clock. Drive guys will have you, from 2 to, we'll call it, I don't know. I don't want to say, I'm not 100% sure, but they're going to have a shorter show because of Monday Night Football. Thank you, 4:30. So they're going to have a shorter program for you. Whitey Gleason and I believe Kyle Draper should be back. I'm not going to make any promises on that.
He was here Thursday and Friday.
I'm not going to make any promises on that front. But always a good show with those guys. And, excited to hear their thoughts on the Wild football weekend. Of course, joined by Kayla Anderson as well. Kyle Ledbetter on the other side of the glass. And let's get into this ESPN.com NBA survey, which Tim Bontemps, I believe, hosts every year or will post every year. And it's just a fun little, hey, who's going to win MVP? Who's going to, who's the best player in the NBA right now? This is from Tim Bontemps. I'm trying to see who the voters are. Let's see. So this is through the eyes of 20 coaches, scouts, and executives that they polled for their thoughts. So 20 coaches, scouts, executives, a random assortment of them. They don't list exactly how many of each, but that is the pool or the voter pool for these. Just to go through some of the more broad ones quickly. And unfortunately, the Kings are not involved in any of these fun conversations. Who will be MVP? There is Nikola Jokic getting the most votes, SGA getting second most votes, Luka, Wembanyama, Giannis, and a vote for Anthony Edwards as well, who's the best player in the league right now. 19 of the 20 voted Nikola Jokic. The one person voted Luka Doncic. No votes for SGA. That's interesting. Who will be the best player by 2030? Victor Wembanyama getting 16 votes, Luka 2, SGA 1, and Jason Tatum getting a stray vote. He did not, Jason Tatum, get a stray vote for who's the best American player right now, which I think it's just always a good topic. If we ever have some free time, we can just kind of go into what is American basketball these days. But Steph Curry, probably not a great sign. Steph Curry still getting the best vote for best American player right now. 11 votes for Steph. Anthony Edwards on his tail with 8. Randomly, Donovan Mitchell receiving the only other vote in that one. So Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards, and Donovan Mitchell, your U.S. basketball
what Cavs
Avengers.
fan submitted that?
Exactly.
For real.
Which member of the Cavs front office sent that?
Who will be the best American player in 5 years? Anthony Edwards takes that one, 11 votes. Cooper Flagg gets 5 votes. We'll see how that turns out next year. Jason Tatum, 2 votes. Paolo Banchero, 1 vote. And Jalen Williams, 1 vote. So there you go. We're finding out where these which teams are being pulled for these surveys. Who will be Rookie of the Year? Cooper Flagg, 19 votes. Con Knippel, 1 vote. Shout out Con Knippel.
One Hornet fan.
There you go.
one. I guess I was going to say a Duke fan, but I guess that probably would have gone to Cooper Flagg.
One person who works for the Hornets.
Incredible. But yet Con Knippel did not receive a vote for who will be the best player in the class of 2025 in 5 years. Cooper Flagg, 18. Dylan Harper, 1 vote. Ace Bailey gets 1 vote as well. Here's an interesting one. Where will LeBron James be at the start of the 26-27 season? 7 people vote for the Lakers. 5 people vote for retirement. 4 people for the Cavs. 2 for the Warriors. 1 Mavericks. 1 Heat as well. Okay, let's see here.
There's no way he's ever going
There's
back
no
to the
way
Heat.
he's going to go back.
Maybe the Cavs.
There's no, yes,
just because that makes sense.
I think the Cavs is a good shout, like especially because they're playing well too.
Right.
Like there's maybe a way that he can sneak his way in. I don't know. Maybe Bronny might be a point of contention. Maybe
True.
we'll see. Who had the best offseason? This is now, unfortunately, where we start to get, not here, unfortunately, but this is where we start to get into the Kings being part of the conversation. Which team had the best offseason? I wish the Kings were involved. They are not. Atlanta Hawks getting the most with 7 votes. A lot of people I expect to be very high on the Atlanta Hawks this year. They add Kristaps Porzingis, signed Nickeil Alexander-Walker in this offseason, as well as added one of the most valuable trade assets in the league, an expected lottery pick from the New Orleans Pelicans in a draft night steal. So Atlanta Hawks allegedly win the offseason. Nuggets getting some votes. Rockets, of course, signing Kevin Durant, getting a couple votes. Thunder getting 2 votes after winning a championship. Orlando getting 2 votes. They trade for Desmond Bane this offseason. Clippers getting a vote is crazy. Who voted the Clippers for having the best offseason in the NBA?
Bradley Beal's agent.
Very true. Very, very true. Aspiration be damned. Here we go.
I wonder if they voted on this before or after the
That is what
Kawhi
I'm wondering. I would hope before. I would really hope beforehand. Unless it's somebody who is not a fan of the Clippers.
Let's track down this person, investigative reporting. We need to know.
They're just really big Brooke Lopez fans.
Right.
That's me. Sorry. All right, here we go. This is where we get into Kings territory, unfortunately. Which team had the worst off season? Kings did receive votes in this one. They did not win, thankfully, I guess. Something to be glad to not win. The New Orleans Pelicans take the crown with 9 votes for the worst offseason. Phoenix Suns get 4. The Kings are in third with 2. Bulls, Lakers, Grizzlies, Sixers, and Blazers all receive votes as well. All that it says about the Kings and why they receive votes. 2 other teams received multiple votes. The Suns and the Kings were knocked for their overall directions. So not really anything to pinpoint.
Just it was all not great.
Just vibes.
Vibes?
Just kind of vibe-wise feeling like that thing's going
If
down.
between your 2 teams you have 18 shooting guards, it's probably not good.
They're like, I can't really pinpoint it, but just something's not looking right over there. So they're getting my vote. So Kings get 2 votes of the 20 votes for worst offseason. Again, Pelicans 9, Suns 4. Kings receive 2 of those votes. What was the best offseason move? Fortunately, the Kings not involved in that conversation. Rockets trading for Kevin Durant. That one at 11 votes makes sense. Magic trading for Desmond Bane, 5. That's interesting because that was a trade that was heavily scrutinized for how many picks the Magic ended up shipping off. Hawks trading the Pelicans on draft night. That was what was just referenced. I have to look at, Kyle, are you off the top of your head? Do you know what that trade is specifically? The draft night trade, Atlanta apparently getting Pelicans pick.
Yes. So they gave up their 2031, they gave up next year's first round pick. It's a swap. So it's like the worst of Pelicans and Bucks, probably going to be the better of Pelicans and Bucks. So they got the Pelicans first round pick to move up 9 spots.
Yes, that's what I'm seeing here. So
and draft Derek Queen.
So yes. Okay. That's very important as well. The
moved
Pelicans
up from 22 to 13.
23. They moved up from 23 and traded an unprotected first round pick to move up to 13,
which
to take Derek Queen.
I believe even if the Pelicans are good for some reason, it's swap rights too. So like it's the better of the Bucks or the Pelicans pick.
Incredible. Okay, well that definitely deserves to be up there. Pelicans just giving away picks. Nuggets trading for Cam Johnson, underrated.
Back to that point real quick.
Please, you cannot say enough.
There's an incredible story. I think the Ringer brought it up that like the Hawks had to call the Pelicans and be like, you're sure you're giving us an unprotected pick? Like they had to double check to make sure they were giving them an unprotected
Was
pick.
this like a fill-in that day, like making decisions?
It's Joe Dumars, which,
exactly.
Hey, good luck. He's made some strange decisions. Because they also signed Kevon Looney like 3 days later.
If I were a front office, and I would have a policy that is, if somebody calls back and says, are you sure? Then we have to at least have another meeting.
Yeah.
I would lean towards it should be if somebody asks, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it because clearly something is wrong. I wish the Lakers would have given Nico Harrison that courtesy of being like, are you sure you want to give us Luka Doncic?
What was dumb about it too is that apparently they tried to trade with 10, 11, and 12, and those teams said no. So then they got the 13, and 13 was like, wait, are you sure? Really?
Crazy. Wow. Well, Derek Queen better be Michael Jordan is all that I know. And this is unfortunately where the Kings do reappear on the survey. What was the worst move of the offseason? I feel like this is just unfair for this to be included. Number 1 is the Pelicans trading this unprotected pick swap. Number 2 is the Blazers trading for Drew Holiday. Number 3 is the Suns waiving and stretching Bradley Beal. 4 is the Pacers losing Miles Turner in free agency. 5 is the Suns trading for Mark Williams, which is very specific. And included receiving 1 vote, Kings signing Dennis Schroeder, included in the worst moves of the offseason. Feels a little harsh. I just don't feel like Dennis Schroeder is that impact. I mean, maybe Dennis Schroeder, I think people were a little bit put off by the amount of money that it was, but from what I understand, the Kings, like that was kind of just the contract slot that they had available. Like that was the only way that they could sign somebody of that level. And so they kind of it was just a mid-level exception as well that they threw at Schroeder. So if I had to guess, that has to do more with the actual contract than the signing, but
I also saw people saying having to dump Valanciunas hurt too.
That wasn't great. Yeah.
Because they had to do that to make it work.
To me, the Saric for Valanciunas trade, especially even just on its face, is a much worse transaction than bringing in Dennis Schroeder, who is at least going to be he's going to give them minutes.
Yeah, he's a veteran point guard, It's
not it's somebody you can put in there. You know what you're going to get to an extent. And it's not as if it's a big swing or any big risk or anything like that. So a bit surprising to see that.
It's like we had to put the Kings on here.
They
had to find something.
You're learning very, very
I am
quickly.
learning quickly.
You're learning dangerously quickly how things go here in Sacramento. So not really much else of note from this. Just who do you think is going to win the West and the East? Let's see here. I guess, what was the most surprising move of the offseason? Jonathan Kuminga still with the Warriors. did receive a vote in that one. And I guess this is an interesting one. What was the biggest trend that you noticed this offseason? The 3 receiving multiple votes. Teams trying to avoid the aprons / financial flexibility. That just seems to be the hot button topic in the NBA, receiving just as many votes, or one less vote, actually. Teams prioritizing size. That's funny because that's something the Kings have been criticized for as long as I can remember, is not prioritizing size, and still really haven't. And receiving 4 votes for what would the biggest trend of the offseason was teams prioritizing youth and depth. Again, not really something that the Kings are doing. Doesn't seem great, doesn't seem ideal, but nonetheless, that is where we are at. Coming up next, we got some NBA injury news and, of course, some really, really big NFL injury news to cover. You're listening to the Allen Stiles Show, Sacktown Sports.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free.
Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-292-4382. That's 800-292-4382. 800-292-4382.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Michael Dave here for my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Yes, I always tell you they are a family-owned operation, been in business since 81, A+ Better Business Bureau, but it is hot. We are in those Sacramento hot months. I want to focus on them being your second opinion partner. What does that mean? Maybe you've got somebody you're working with or you've worked with in the past in the HVAC world. Guess what? They want to give you a second opinion. How much does it cost? Nothing. You call them up and say, hey, can I get a second opinion on this deal? They come out and they either say, wow, that's a great deal, you should feel better about that. Or they say, we can beat that price. And usually they're going to beat it by a lot. Guess what? You just saved money and it didn't cost you anything to find out. It's a no-lose situation. Go with a trusted company. American Energy, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Listen to the 49er Rewind daily Brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza, the official pizza of the 49ers. Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza, the way it ought to be.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, you're tuned into the Alan Stiles Show. Welcome in. We got about an hour and some change left in the program. Had some good stuff today, joined by Kayla Anderson, of course. She'll be joining us throughout the week. Kyle Ledbetter, of course. He's the mainstay on the other side of the glass. Can't forget about Kyle. Would never forget about Kyle. Could you imagine?
You really can't.
No, I wouldn't dream of it. And yeah, just a lot going on here as we've been talking about all day. A lot of football from the weekend, a lot of crazy headlines coming out of the weekend, a lot of injuries, of course, none bigger than, especially locally, Nick Bosa will be out for the remainder of the season with a torn ACL. That dropped a little bit before noon. Really big news on the Niners front. But he wasn't the only one who fell for injury for the entirety of the season. You had James Conner in that same game. You knew it immediately.
That was rough to see, guys. I mean, I'm not an Arizona Cardinals fan, but to see him go down in that fashion, in that injury, I was like, that man's he's a hard runner.
He's a hard runner. And he's somebody who has made it. Like he was, I don't know if he was undrafted, but he was somebody who had I know, when he came up with the Steelers, I believe he had just gone through a bout with cancer or something like that. And it was a really, really touching story. And for him to not only just like, oh yeah, he ended up having that cool Monday night and we got to hear his story. No, like he actually ended up making a really, really solid career and is kind of the definition of the guy that has just been incredibly solid, but almost like Dennis Schroeder. You just don't hear it. Like you just do not. Nobody is spending their Sundays having James Conner conversations and where he falls in the NFL, but he's just somebody who's been there and been incredibly consistent.
Yeah, to Kayla's point, even if you're not a Cardinal fan, you can't. Everyone loves James Conner.
Yeah.
For those who don't remember, so he was Conference Player of the Year at Pitt. Then missed a season while going through cancer treatment, came back and played another year at Pitt, and he got picked in like the third round.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then was a Pro Bowler for the Steelers and the Cardinals, which at the time there was some stat like first running back to make a Pro Bowl with two teams in like 20 years or something like that.
Wow. Yeah, and I mean he's a big body too, which I think is a running back that I like. I like those, he's not quite Jerome Bettis, but like he is somebody who's got maybe it's just because he's standing next to Kyler Murray, but he's somebody.
Kyler's so little. I saw him for the first time, you guys, in person in Nashville. I was like, that man is so short. I'm taller than that man.
He is laughably small.
It's cool, right? And his legs are so short. I mean, they're so powerful.
Yeah, and
but
when he runs.
Sorry, that got me on a side note, but I was like, he really is that short.
Totally fine.
I always think you have to be careful on this show because Alan is not taller than Kyler Murray. And so Alan gets, he's got to stand up for his Zonts, as he calls them.
And Alan played baseball.
Wow.
Yep.
Yes, he did. Yes, Alan played baseball at Temple. No, Alan doesn't have anything to be insecure about, and yet he still finds a way to be insecure about his height.
But he's he's
really incredible.
Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, he's always standing up for the Zonts.
I get it though. Zonts. I totally get it. But I think what was more surprising about Kyler Murray, not his height, but the shortness of his legs. Mm-hmm. They were because they're so stout.
Yeah.
Because he's a powerful runner.
Yeah.
I mean, that's partly he played baseball and could have played baseball. So when you see him in person, I'm thinking maybe he's shorter, but like the legs were just like stout.
Yeah. Like, which is, I mean, and maybe it is an advantage for him, like being able to kind of have that base to kind of work off of, especially in football. Like if you're breaking tackles, I would assume, and Kyler he is so fat. I mean, watching him escape the pocket on Sunday, I just forget. I mean, you really do with how short his legs is. They move so quick. You can really see how fast he's running, but yeah, just incredible escapability. And I mean, it is crazy. You mentioned his baseball acumen. Like, I do always wonder, and it's gone fine in football, but like, did he make the right decision?
I almost think he should have played baseball. And maybe,
well
and he's
try,
had a lot
right?
of injuries, and like baseball, that's the one safer type of sport,
sure.
unless you're a pitcher, where you're going to have a longer career.
Yeah.
But Kyler chose to, probably to him, challenge to be like, I'm going to be a starter in this league. And for the most part, like, he's done that. He hasn't been the greatest, but, he chose the tougher path.
Yeah, definitely the tougher path. And yeah, I don't know, like, in all aspects, I just don't know if it's better. Like, baseball players, the earning potential feels like it's so much more. You mentioned the injury factor of it all. Like, I think Kyler was a center fielder. I can imagine him just, again, running,
to watch.
flying up the walls. Like, I don't know how good of a hitter he was.
Earning potential worked out okay for him.
I mean, he's not sweating it at all. But
he made it to the big contract. I don't know if he's going to get a second one, but he made it to the big one.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing about baseball is you can get that big. You can get get that 15-year contract, just lock it down, So I don't know. It's a fascinating conversation, and it is I guess we'll never know, because I don't even think he did like the Russell Wilson all do spring training thing, like Russell, I think, went with the Rangers and the Yankees. He spent some time, like, to, I guess, his credit, Kyler has been, I'm doing football and Call of Duty, and that's it.
And Call of Duty. I love how you add that in. And Call of Duty.
The story is so funny because he got drafted by the A's his year off.
Oh,
that is a funny tie as well.
And then the A's told him, "Sure, you can go play college football. That's fine." And then he balled out and won the Heisman.
Kid. Go ahead.
Because they thought he was going to be like a 7th round pick. They thought there was no way he was going to become what he became.
Should have never let him out of your sights.
Only the A's.
This is their first round pick. And they were like,
I want to say it was like a top 5 pick. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
I feel like it was a top 5. Like
at least top 10.
4 sticks out to me for some reason. But yeah, he was a very high pick in the first round. And
the A's were like, go play college football. What the heck?
Baseball first rounders are, who knows? Like they rarely end up actually being guarantees by any stretch of the imagination. But again,
he was
Kyler,
a 9th overall.
9th overall. There you go. So there you go. That is incredible.
Wow.
And just got nothing for it. Got absolutely not even a spring training. Can't even get like a Kyler jersey.
He did give back money, I think, too. Like, he signed a deal saying he would come after playing in the NFL. Wow. He was like, actually, my bad. Here's your money back.
It's worked out. I mean, he is a solid. It would be very interesting to see. It's not going to happen, but Kyler and Trevor Lawrence are 2 quarterbacks specifically where I wonder if they were to hit the open market, what is the interest for those guys?
100%.
Because both of them obviously pedigree is there, and how much I guess it's really
especially
a conversation.
Trevor, right?
Yeah.
Like generational talent. We heard that word with him, and
Big
like
time.
because he's not fulfilled that yet, we think, is it just because he's in Jacksonville and it's a dysfunctional franchise? There's so many organizations and coaches, Chris and Kyle, that I feel like say we can fix them or we can be better in our franchise. That would be fascinating with him, even specifically.
Those two, and I think the Raiders are probably like the ones who are always going to be like,
come to us.
We could be that experiment. But yeah, those 2 guys specifically scream like, is it the situation, to your point? Is it a fact that you're in Jacksonville, coaches, players, whatever that is, though you can argue Brian Thomas and Travis Hunter now. But yeah, like what do those guys look like? What is the answer on those guys' career? I'm still waiting, and every week it feels like you can watch and come to a different conclusion with those 2 guys. But there's definitely a handful, and then you can bring it into when do you actually get the full answer? Because there are guys like Baker Mayfield, like Geno Smith, who you try and write him off, and as Geno said, he didn't write back, and so. I think especially with NFL quarterback, it's impossible to try and the more we think we know, it feels like the less we actually do.
Rolling the dice every time.
Every single time. So we're going to come back with a little bit of headline news, everything that you guys missed over the weekend and everything that will be talked about for the week to come. You're listening to the Allen Stiles Show, Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It's the energy all around you.
Lightning and the thunder.
The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration.
Thunder.
The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
When shopping for a new car, what do you want? A great selection? A low monthly payment? More for your trade? At Northern California's best Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, you get it all. Model year-end savings are going on now. Drive away in your favorite Honda. It's savings you just can't say no to. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on the results of the study, recognized on June 18, 2025, USA Today's list of California's top car dealers 2025.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. Their max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Hi, I'm Michael from the War and Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5 milligram, 1 milligram, and 2 milligrams.
When I want to stretch out after a long day, my sofa needs to be comfortable, but it also needs to look attractive and inviting when guests come to visit. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. We spend so much time on our living room sofas that we forget they're a focal point and a hint to our decorating tastes. Right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings sofa sale, you can save on every sofa, including gallery-exclusive custom-ordered flex steel furniture. Whether you're interested in a new sofa, sectional, or recliner, you can choose from hundreds of colors and fabrics. Nobody has more styles and choices than Naturewood Home Furnishings. And when it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop Naturewood for the look you love at a price you'll love even more. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable sofa sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Everybody, it's Kyle Draper for Bell Brothers Plumbing. That's right, the no surprise guys. Plumbing problems got you down, just ruining your day? Well, ring the bell. Bell Brothers, that is. They offer free plumbing checkups, and you can get $50 off any plumbing fix, whether it's leaks, clogs, upgrades, you name it. Bell Brothers, the no surprise guys. Visit nosurpriseguys.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Paid for by Action Matters.
Attention former and present inmates of women's prisons in California. If you are currently or were an inmate of Central California Women's Facility in Chowchilla, also known as Chowchilla Women's Facility, Valley State Prison for Women in Chowchilla, Institute for Women in Chino, or Folsom Women's Facility in Represa, and were a victim of sexual abuse, now is the time to come forward, as you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. If you were an inmate at any of these prisons at any time and were subjected to sexual abuse from staff members, you may be entitled to substantial cash compensation. Call our California Women's Prison Helpline now at 800-408-1240. The deadline to file a claim may be close. Call now to get the justice, closure, and the financial settlement you deserve. Even if it was long ago, call our law firm's Women's Prison Sexual Abuse Helpline right now at 800-408-1240. 800-408-1240. 800-408-1240.
KHD-KHD-1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Welcome into the final hour of the program, Alan Stiles Show. Chris Watkins, Kayla Anderson, Kyle Ledbetter. Sitting on the other side of the glass. Let's see here. Let's get into some headline news as we were discussing pretty much for the majority of the 12 o'clock hour with the news that, man, just absolutely shaking Niners Nation right now. It's tough. I mean, it's really, really tough when you lose, when you've already been dealing with injuries all season long. Oh, wow. Actually, just saw another injury, not football related, come across my timeline. Wow. We'll get to that in just a second. But Nick Bosa out for the season, tearing his ACL. He will be out for the entirety of the season. Went down early with an injury. We saw him give a thumbs down to the stands. Weren't really sure what exactly it was referring to. If it was just a, hey, not feeling good today. If it was a, hey, this could be something serious. Turns out it was something very serious. And again, Nick Bosa out for the season with a torn ACL. But that's not the only football news of somebody out for the season. He is joined as well by James Conner that same game. I don't know if they've given an exact what it was.
Fractured ankle.
Oh,
he's going to have surgery. Season over for him.
Yeah, season over for James Conner. We just kind of talked about him and his legacy as a running back and what it's been. And, you just never know. Last week we were talking about Austin Eckler, tearing his Achilles. Is that the last carry of Austin Eckler's career? I don't know if you have to ask that question for James Conner, but
he's 30.
They're the same age.
It just feels like at least it's going to be a different James Conner than the one that we've seen consistently put up numbers these past couple of years. So that always sucks. And then another guy who was kind of trying to make a little bit of a career rejuvenation, if you will. Najee Harris didn't really work out in Pittsburgh. Local ties, if I'm not mistaken. He's from Richmond, if I'm not mistaken, Richmond, California. So some local ties, of course. Former Alabama running back.
Guy who replaced James Conner in Pittsburgh.
He did, didn't he? Yeah. First round pick, replaced James Conner in Pittsburgh. Good shout. Najee Harris out for the season. He, I believe, tore his Achilles as well. That was a non-contact injury.
That's a rough one.
That one was very strange. That was kind of like your stereotypical Achilles injury where non-contact, just took a step forward and then went down to the ground and just couldn't move. That was just really tough to see. So Najee Harris, he'll be out for the season as well. Kyle told us about 20 minutes ago, CeeDee Lamb, not out for the season, does not fit into that category. Don't worry about that, Cowboys fans. He will be out 3 to 4 weeks with a high ankle sprain, obviously out next week. But that's a big loss for the Cowboys, another top-heavy team. Obviously, they lose Micah Parsons via trade, but they were already incredibly reliant on their offense. And without CeeDee Lamb, I know they traded for George Pickens this offseason. Good luck.
He's more of a trouble in terms of the locker room than he is what he's done on the field.
That guy is just a headache.
He's a headache. Can I share a story really quick about him?
Yeah, please.
So when I was in Nashville, there were some Steeler ties with some people that I worked with. And the story is like in Pittsburgh, coming out of Georgia, where there's been some players coming out of Georgia that, have been a little bit controversial.
Yes, character issues.
Not trying to slight you if you're from Georgia, great program, whatever. But when he got to Pittsburgh, they were still having to wake him up and set his alarm to get to things on time.
Gotcha.
Because that's just kind of the reliant person he was and never really did things by himself. Coming from Georgia, where they kind of pamper you a little bit.
Yeah, coddle to say the least.
Say your alarm is crazy.
Say your alarm is nuts. That is basic.
It's just what are
adulting.
we doing here? I just don't think the guy has really grown up, and it still doesn't look like he has when he's on a team like this where it has so many lights on him.
Does Georgia have a guy on staff that does that for everyone?
I'm thinking yes, Kyle. I really am.
100%
just goes to room and sets alarms. That seems impossible.
Undoubtedly. I would say.
Are you up yet? Hey, ring, ring. Are you up yet?
Knocking. I think they got
it's
people physically
wild,
knocking
man.
on doors.
Bed checks, I'm sure, but setting alarms is crazy.
Well, and speed checks as well. I mean,
100%, especially with that program.
Sorry, I'm literally dogging on the.
Hey,
sorry,
there you
no
go.
pun intended.
I like that one. No, but I mean, you can even see it in his play. His play is very it feels very unpolished. It feels like it's somebody who doesn't pay attention to details, like setting an alarm in the morning. His game is always, it feels like George Pickens makes the best catches that don't end up counting.
Do you remember that time he fought someone mid-play?
Yes. Yeah. Like he said, forget the play is me fighting. Like that's what you just called is swing left.
Funniest thing one of
it was insane.
Like second to Aqib Talib stealing a chain mid snap. Second to that is George Pickens just snapping the ball and fighting someone.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that definitely, your story definitely tracks there, Kayla. Thank you for the insight.
You're welcome.
And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in Dallas. They've already been off to a rough start to that season. Your star wide receiver going out is not going to help that situation at all. On the basketball front, you have Tyler Hero, who's going to be out to start the season. Shams Charania put this out the other day. Tyler Hero underwent surgery on his left foot / ankle today. He will be sidelined to begin the 25-26 season. Hero suffered an ankle injury in an off-season workout that led to the decision for surgery. That's always the worst way to hear that your best player is going to be out, is when you get hurt. And of course, like there's always should these guys be doing like the pro-ams and all those stuff? You cannot, especially basketball, you cannot stop a basketball player from playing casual, recreational, or even, working out, any of that stuff. You can't ask them to not play. So Tyler Hero, he's going to be out to start the season. The injury news that I saw, not football related, that came across my timeline, I don't know if you saw this. This is from the Houston Rockets. Fred VanVleet suffered a torn ACL, a devastating potential season-ending loss for the Rockets. That is very, very interesting.
They have no other point guards other than Reed Shepherd.
Literally don't have any, and I know him and KD have a really good relationship, a big reason why KD wanted to head over there. That's not good for Houston, who has a lot of aspirations this season. Yeah, I guess they would have to run Reed Shepherd at point guard. I don't know. Obviously they lose Jalen Green, so they can't even, run a Malik Monk-esque.
They're probably going to have KD running ball handling a lot of the time.
Right.
But that's the same thing Phoenix just did.
Exactly. And that
KD is like 36, 37 years old. Maybe you don't want to put those kind of miles on him. I don't know. Yeah, I saw that Fred VanVleet news and again, we don't know if he's going to miss the season, but he's at least going to miss the start of the season. So you can add him to the list of players, which I have in front of me, of players who will miss the start at least of next season, if not the season in its entirety, because every single time the NBA season starts, you always forget who's on what team, and then you forget all these injuries. So I just figured, why not collect them and give a nice little list? So we have Tyler Hero, you have Fred VanVleet added to the list. Of course, Tyrese Halliburton, Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum. All of those guys are going to miss the entirety of the year with Achilles injuries that they suffered in the playoffs.
That's wild.
It's
Achilles is a real thing, especially in the NBA.
It's the worst. And I don't know. I know they're trying to figure out if there's any connection to, workload versus these injuries happening.
Sure.
To me, it feels like one of those. Well, I was going to say it feels like one of those freak accidents, freak coincidence. But when you have three guys all getting hurt around the same time period, it's kind of tough to just chalk that down as a coincidence, right?
I agree. And I know a lot of the NBA gets hated on because of, being able to minimize some of the playing time during the season for some of these stars, load management. But really, when you think about it, like, it is a lot in terms of like playing every single day or every other day and the wear and tear on the body. But you'd think at this day and age with the medical advancements, we would have a solution for an Achilles that we see actually trending more upwards in the NBA more than anything. And I know it derives somewhat from the calf and, previous injuries, but you think we could figure this out, guys, because
it's so weird.
It's disturbing to see it, and to these big names as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that there's a big push and pull of, the load management of if it's helping or hurting
that's a great point.
Do you want these guys to just continue, stay ready so you don't have to get ready, stay in shape so your body isn't, kind of going from stop to start to stop to start. And, which one is truly more beneficial? I think we don't really know. And I think all of these guys probably, I don't know exactly, but I'm pretty sure that they've fluctuated between, are these guys going to just be guys who come out every single night, or I'm pretty sure Dame Lillard's somebody who has been injured here and there throughout the years, and so has missed time. And
there's no age difference, strange. Chris. I mean, Damian Lillard is 35, Tyrese Halliburton 25, Murray 29. So it doesn't matter. It's not like the age is part of it. Yeah. This is just an injury that has become very prevalent, especially in the NBA.
No, absolutely. Yeah. To your point, it's not just Dame Lillard. He just so many miles, right? You have so many miles, and then that thing it's like, well, then what's your excuse for Tyrese Halliburton? What's your excuse for, Jason Tatum, who didn't really, you could say Jason Tatum played all summer with Team USA, didn't really play that much. So
wasn't there a rookie for the Nuggets who also tore his Achilles? Holmes?
Deron Holmes.
Yeah.
Deron Holmes, I think to start last season tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
And so
the James Wiseman's tore his Achilles.
James Wiseman tore his Achilles at the start.
Like young dudes are getting it too.
You mentioned Murray as well. Yeah. DeJounte Murray tore his Achilles as well. He was like kind of towards the end of he was, I guess, the first of that grouping of guys. And so you don't really lump him in as well. But just really, really strange. All of those guys, out with Achilles injuries. Presumably all will be out for the entirety of the year. These guys like to try and say, especially towards the end of the year, they get squirrely and maybe I'll come back.
Klay Thompson's long journey. I mean, he documented it and how tough it was. And not only when you return in terms of the play, but the mental side of it.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, the Achilles too. That's one where I just wouldn't play with. Like that's something where, we've since learned that, the calf, if you have a calf injury, maybe you're more susceptible to your Achilles injury, just all of it. It just seems like unless you're 100%, it's not worth it. And you're only further risking further injury. So
for sure.
Really scary stuff in the NBA. Kyrie is going to be out to start the season. We don't know exactly how long Kyrie is going to be out for, but we do know at least to start the season. Last week we played sound of potentially AD going to miss the start of the season with a face injury. I can't remember if it was his eye or his nose. I think
it was his eye.
Yeah. I want to say it was an orbital fracture. So could potentially be without AD to start the season. In Dallas, you have Darius Garland, who's had surgery on his toe. He's going to miss the start of the season. Bogdanovic, who Kings fans very familiar with, he ruptured his hamstring in Eurobasket. That just sounds terrible. I don't think there's been an actual timeline given on Bogey's ruptured hamstring.
I think it's just rupture. Just anytime I hear
it.
Yeah.
Anytime I hear rupture, I'm like, body parts are not supposed to do that.
They're definitely not. No, they're not at all supposed to rupture. So, thoughts to Bogey for sure. He's definitely going to miss the start of the season. And then Zach Edey is the other one that is going to miss the start of the season. I think that's at ankle stability, which is
he's a big boy.
Alarming when you're 7'4", 7'5", and we're talking in year 2 about your ankle
stability is crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think it was even like he broke his ankle, he twisted his ankle. I think it was just if this is going to last for 5 years, like we're going to have to kind of tweak that a little bit. So, Zach Edey as well is going to be out for the start of the season. And as we know, just in general, injuries have played a big factor for the Kings. We were kind of mentioning it earlier with Malik Monk and him getting injured at the end of the seasons these past 2 years and how that's derailed things. So obviously when it comes to the Kings front, always very, very cautious of injuries and all these things because they can really ruin a season incredibly quickly. And I don't know if I would call the Kings deep this year, but I mean, Sabonis injury is you're not going to be able to survive that. But at least in terms of guards, if Zach LaVine goes down, if DeMar DeRozan goes down.
You have plenty of those.
We have more than enough. We have so much depth there.
Yeah. Guard-wise, we're good.
We're good.
If Keegan Murray goes down, we're starting Isaac Jones.
Us three are going to be in the rotation pretty soon. We're going
to be the squirrels in a trench coat showing up, and we can just block shots.
100%. Yeah, we can look like Chet Holmgren or something. No one will know the difference. So, obviously, again, when it comes to injuries, the Kings really can never afford to be very injured, but really their front court depth is the thing that's the most scary.
I'm thinking about the Rockets thing. I also see Alan is tweeting from home right now, so it made me think of it.
I heard he's a tweeter. He likes to tweet. I like that though.
Alan loves to tweet.
I like to be on
Alan
Twitter
loves
too.
engagement.
We're gonna have to ask him when he gets here, but I'm like 80% sure he was tweeting from the hospital
I heard you guys say that.
I'm based on the timeline of events. I'm like 80% sure he was tweeting about Westbrook, which
he's not. Speaking about Westbrook from the hospital, is diabolical.
Like, Westbrook might be coming to Sacramento.
But anyways, how bad do you think it would have to get for the Rockets before they actually considered signing Russell Westbrook?
Oh,
because it's Reed Shepherd right
now. That's a really good question.
Because they're not going to do it, but how bad would it have to get?
This is where I'll lean on you being more probably in the circle of news, Kyle. Like, what's the most recent that you've heard about the KD-Russell relationship?
I saw Russell Westbrook was on a documentary talking about 2016.
Yes.
But I think they're fine. Like, I don't think they hate each other anymore. Like, they were hanging out at All-Star Weekend a bunch of years ago, so I don't think they hate each other anymore, but I just
that would obviously be the biggest hurdle that I would guess.
Yeah. I think their relationship is cool. I just don't think the Rockets want to do that again.
Yeah.
They've already done the Russell Westbrook thing.
I did not factor that in. I did not factor in that. And it was Russ and Harden as well. I forgot.
It was Russ and Harden.
They already did the 2 of the 3 thing.
Yeah. Well, they've all mixed and matched, right? Harden's done. I should phrasing. Harden and KD have gone together.
There we go.
Russ and Harden have come together, but we've never completed the circle of Russ and KD coming back together. It's either him or Ben Simmons now.
Oh boy.
Goodness.
Ben Simmons is like
rocking a hard place.
Does he really want to play basketball?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
As a matter of fact, I think specifically, I think I saw the other day that his agent dropped Ben as a client because the Knicks, shout out Mike Brown, I believe the Knicks offered him a contract and he pretty much just said no to it.
I think I saw that too.
To which it's like, I totally understand from his agent's perspective where it's, hey, dude, like if anybody wants you to play, I don't care if they're promising you minutes or not. You're not, beggars cannot be choosers here, pal. Like we as a client and
a
agent relationship,
partnership.
We need money, brother.
Exactly.
Like, please take the like you're not really in the spot to do that. So, that I think is where things stand on the Ben Simmons front. So I think that maybe gives Russell Westbrook a little bit of an upper hand.
More likely to be Westbrook. The Simmons thing, I was kind of joking.
Well, somebody's got to take him, right?
He could go play in Perth. Is that where Mason Jones is?
The Australian League. Would that count as an NBA player? I don't know if it would, because I don't know if Ben is technically categorized that anymore these days. But it's that's a really interesting question. If they would be willing to go for Russell Westbrook. I feel like their relationship is probably, to Kyle's point, better than what it was initially, but I can't imagine that those two really, I would probably more so imagine Kevin doesn't want to play with Russ, but I would just imagine that those two probably would rather not play with each
They're like,
other.
let's not go back to that. Like, we're fine if we don't play on the same team. We can be cool. But like coming back together now, for me, I'd love to see the drama unfold. Like, let's see that happen.
Pay-per-view TV
right? But it is interesting. It's like, what would that be like? It would be fascinating years later.
Yeah. And especially now it's a little, I mean, obviously they were trying to win championships and there was certain weight there, but now it's hey, like time's running out. I don't really have time to like do this whole dance again. So like if we can maybe get to the part where we figured it out and we can be copacetic, it just feels like that's not really a place where maybe they would want to be. So I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to look at maybe some other free agent options, or trade market's always available. I know the Kings don't have a ton of point guards, but we know they're trying to get rid of Malik Monk. Maybe that could work out. Maybe we can find something there.
This has been my life for the last 3 months.
I was going to say, I guarantee Allen has something cooked up in reserve.
I know the point guards off the top of my head. It's Monte Morris. It's Jalen Hood-Schifino.
Sure. Wow.
There's not a lot to pick from.
No. That's it. That's end of list.
No, there's others, but I'm saying
worth mentioning.
Westbrook. If those were the guys that were worth mentioning, then
Westbrook and Ben Simmons are your two options, basically.
Very, very loudly heard.
Everyone else, is either in Europe or just waiting for a G League offer.
Yeah.
So is this maybe a hedging on the Rockets? I mean, the Rockets were a very, very sexy pick for the West this year. I mean, obviously KD and everything that comes along with that, but you don't have Fred VanVleet, and I'm not going to act like Fred VanVleet, again, is a perennial all-star or anything.
But it's still a bigger piece to your puzzle, right?
For sure. Absolutely. Like, he's at least a good offensive weapon. Yeah. He's somebody who has ran the show there the past couple of years. I mean, it's got to mean something. There's no way that they're just going to be able to shake off something like that, especially given the backup options that Kyle just laid out for us. So
it's also kind of the way I look at it. It's now or never for you, Reed Shepherd. I mean, they're giving you every chance to play.
And maybe it really is as simple as that. Maybe in a sick, twisted way, this is the get in the deep end, kid, because we didn't give you anything last year, which was pretty insane to me, which I'm still, again, trying to figure out which side was the right side in that one. Was it Reed Shepherd really wasn't ready for NBA minutes when he was picked third, if I'm not mistaken? Or was it, just an abundance of caution? Was it just, hey, like, we don't think we have to play you right now? And the Rockets did perfectly fine last year without him. So I guess it ended up being fine, but maybe this is the exact situation to why you should have given him a little bit of minutes last year. So, because now we're going to find out. Now we have to find out.
Now the pressure's on you, kid.
All on him. And it's try and win Kevin Durant a championship.
I'm sorry,
the first year playing.
I also forgot you can drag 37-year-old Patty Mills off of the street also. Yes.
St. Mary's.
Yes.
Mary's finest.
Gales,
absolutely. Gales, absolutely. One of the best.
You can still drag him back for one more season if you want.
He's not in Perth?
He is unsigned presently.
Okay, I was like, I feel like he's probably would do the Australian retirement tour
He
sure.
does not need that.
No, he definitely doesn't need it. He's already Australian basketball royalty, but it just feels like a decent path.
It's good. Yeah, that would make sense for him. But he is presently unsigned, so still trying to get into the NBA. It's like him, Monte Morris, Ben Simmons, and Russell Westbrook, and Hood Schifino. Those are your only options, and none of them are good ones.
Man, so there you go. That's a really big blow for the Rockets. So we'll see. We'll see if there's anything there that they can do. Yeah, they might have a trade. Aaron on the Sack chat here is saying that Bobby Marks is saying that they have a $14.1 million player exception. So maybe they can, figure out a team that does have an excess of point guard depth. They will not be looking here, but maybe they can find somebody else who has extra point guards to give.
Oh, don't worry. Alan's going to cook up a Malik Monk to Rockets.
Oh, I'm sure.
I was like going to ask, would Alan possibly think Malik?
I think that, yes, I think Allen would definitely be able to cook up something for Malik to go to Houston, but it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it does. That would make a decent amount of sense. Again, we talked earlier about Malik and how he played point guard last year. It wasn't perfect, but I think in a situation like Houston is in, which is a little bit of a situation like the Kings were in post De'Aaron Fox trade, he's better than nothing. Like he is definitely somebody who. He's not a point guard. I always say, like, to me, point guard's like a quarterback where I won't go as far as to say you're either born with it or you're not, but there's a certain skill set that you just kind of have to have if you're going to be playing that position naturally.
Yep.
And it's not a knock, but I just don't think Malik was brought up thinking like a point guard. I think he's definitely a score first mentality, and it's treated him more than fine. And he has ran with that opportunity, but if you're talking about somebody running the show, I just don't know if he's the answer that you would go for. But if the Kings can get something good for it, I think they are definitely in a position where we have seen they are looking to be opportunistic. So we will see where things land in that front. We get you ready for a little Monday night football action. You got Ravens, you got Lions, you got our thoughts coming up next. Alan Stiles Show, Sacktown Sports.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I'm opening my own coffee shop.
I smell a caffeinated catastrophe.
And I needed menu boards and banners printed.
What you really needed was a reality check.
Staples really came through. They printed menus and signs, even flyers in time for my grand opening.
And that's when the other shoe dropped.
Not quite. I got $125 off my custom print order.
Cha-ching! For your business printing, Staples.
That was easy.
Now save up to $125 on custom print orders. Valid in-store and online until 11/1. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Footballs are flying. The days are getting shorter. Fall is officially here. Will your heater be able to get you through the winter? The heater at Whiteywood shut down last winter. So who did we call? Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. We wanted somebody we could trust to do the job right and deliver great value, and Lee's came through. Check them out at leesair.com. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating has built a reputation as the leading HVAC company in Sacramento. We've got a new HVAC system that works great, saves us money month to month. Find out how they can help you at leesair.com. License number 635355.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs. You sound very calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
Are you thinking about buying a new car? Well, maybe you're on the fence. Let me help you out. Kyle Draper here from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the first time I stepped into the MP of Stockton showroom, I knew I made the right choice. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV. It's comfortable, stylish, and most importantly, it's safe. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. It's just a short drive down I-5 or anytime at mbfstockton.com.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There's no better way to experience the beauty of Northern California than in a brand new Jeep. And people are coming from all over for the Drive in a Fall event at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram because they've got the best prices in town, the biggest selection, and unmatched customer service. And right now, 0% financing, 0% APR financing for 60 months on Jeep Grand Cherokee 3-Row, centrally located right across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course, and online at SacSuperstore.com. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. It's the place where a handshake still means something. Financing and approved credit. Grand Cherokee 1401 per $1,000 borrowed.
Live and local
It's Alan Stiles
on Sacktown Sports.
Yeehaw! Welcome in. I didn't know that was our rejoiner. I was like, is this a commercial? No, this is us.
No, this is Chapel Roan.
This is Chapel
really?
Roan?
This is, yes.
Oh, I actually like her music.
It's not one of the two Chapel Roan songs that I know. So
there you go.
Is this what is?
It's relatively new. It's called The Giver.
Okay.
This is, I think, like 5 months old or something.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
I mean, her roots are kind of back over on that side in terms of country.
Actually, I'm now realizing I'm very unfamiliar with Chapel Roan's like.
I think in her song, she says my parents back in Tennessee or something, right?
Yes, definitely. And
she's from Missouri.
She's from Missouri, but how did maybe her parents live in Tennessee now, or I don't know.
She definitely does say Tennessee.
Yeah,
and,
I was confused on that.
Interesting. I would not have clocked this for Chapel Roan. Well, there you go. You're listening to Sacktown Sports, not KNCI. Listening to Sacktown Sports. Alan Stiles Show.
That's what happens when you got Gen Z on the music playlist.
That's right.
All the other stuff I knew.
I would say I have known probably 60% of it.
I saw you. We were rocking
we were bopping
heads.
a little bit. Yeah, some of it is Some of it I just kind of go with the flow.
Yeah.
Some of it I'm like,
Don't know.
No idea what this is.
I kind of figured out Chris Watkins' range of music. It's a little, not quite Alan's, but it's like,
no, it's not Alan.
You're
Alan's
like between me and Alan. Like you're like 2014 to 2020 is kind of the range.
That sounds about right. I've never diagnosed it like that, but 2020 does sound about the time where I would have fallen off any sort of like musical journey.
Or you like what you like at that point.
No, for sure. Yeah. And I'm a lot less hard on myself than I used to be, but I used to say like, I'm just not a music guy because my explanation was being a sports guy. Like I know what it means to be like somebody who is very, very into and to label yourself as so. And I know people who are very musically inclined. My girlfriend like is a singer, she's songwriter, whole
That's
shebang.
awesome.
So I would not at all categorize myself as musically gifted or musically knowledgeable at all. But now I would just say like Kyle said, I like what I like. And it's just I like to say it's a small category of music.
I get that. I've always loved music. Like like beats just stick in my head. So I know songs growing up from my mom and dad's genres to like, it's like some of those things. I'm not like a music genius, but I do like beats stick in my head and then I'll just remember the lyrics.
That's the one thing I'm terrible with
at the lyrics.
I am like all time terrible at lyrics. Like I only hear beats pretty much. And like, like I can recognize a beat pretty well, but
what was the crazy thing you said last week that you'd be good at just the tags in between?
I did say I would be really good at the what do they call those? The not the tags, but
when they reach the chorus or the
ad libs.
Ad libs.
Okay. Like the
yes.
Yeah. Mama.
Just the addition, like a Lil Wayne.
Yes, all of it. The Migos, the Lil Waynes, the like all of the little just like the backgrounds. Yes, the sound effects. I can kill the sound effects. None better than me, but that's about where my musical talent stops.
Hey.
Is with the sound effects.
It's enough musical talent.
Yeah, nonetheless, I don't know how we got on the musical note.
Because of my banger of Chapel Roan.
Exactly.
Chapel Roan put us on the track.
Got talent on Monday Night Football, though.
Kyle, you know what to do.
Yep.
Senor Segway strikes again.
It's incredible.
I got one of those.
You got a Senor Segway.
And that was a great one too.
That was a life raft too, because I was like, I don't know where to bring this back.
I just thought I was like, well,
perfectly.
I guess there is a lot of talent.
Wonderful.
I'd love to hear Dan Campbell sing. You know,
Kyle Ledbetter, other side of the glass. Kayla Anderson, Chris Watkins, filling in for Alan Stiles. And we're having a good time. We will be running the show the next couple days, all the way at least through Thursday, and then Friday. We'll see what the musical chairs looks like. We know Kyle will be here though on Friday because Kyle's the mainstay.
Kyle's never allowed to leave.
Kyle is back in that soundproof glass.
Pretty much what I said.
Kyle is trapped in the windowless room.
There's a window adjacent.
Not in my room.
Not in your room.
I can only just glimpse at the light. It's like the light is so close, but I can't reach it.
Oh my God. Yeah. For those who can't see, it is pretty sad, but yeah, I do want to wrap a bow on some of these headline news because first and foremost, I do want to shout out the Vikings who had a perfect PFF grade from one Isaiah Rodgers. And deservingly so. A perfect game is what I would call it. It was really a perfect half. I've never seen somebody do what Isaiah Rodgers did. I had multiple people hitting my phone saying, what is going on? Isaiah Rodgers, for those who did not see, earned a perfect 99.99 PFF grade in the win against Cincinnati, giving him the highest single game mark in the PFF era, which is since 2006. Rodgers, just in the first half, had an interception, 2 forced fumbles, 2 touchdowns, one of which was a pick six. The other was a returned fumble in which he forced. It was incredible.
It was awesome to see.
Incredible play. He also broke up a pass in the end zone. I want to say it was to T. Higgins. Barely got a finger on it, but saved the touchdown as well, all in the first half, and pretty much single-handedly ended the game for the Vikings.
And it's like awesome to see somebody like that, like get a almost perfect grade, I should say. And it stinks to see it at the expense of Jake Browning, who I know is a Folsom,
Folsom's
native.
finest. Come on.
And he at times, when he'd had to come in, had been good for the Bengals, but this was just, I don't know what happened in this. It was a very lopsided situation. I mean, clearly he did not have the best day, and hopefully we can see him bounce back because he's going to be in for a while.
Absolutely. No, it was 100% one of those games. I mean, did Jake Browning play well? No, he didn't. But was it as bad as what it looked? No, It was not. It was one of those where it definitely got away from him. One of his interceptions was really, really bad. And that was kind of towards the end of the game when it was already out of hand. It was, a little bit of him trying to make a play in the moment, but it was definitely one of those where it was 17-3. And then I think they fumbled right before the half and then ended up just kind of snowballing there to the point where the game was over. And I think the Vikings had scored 2 or 3 touchdowns in a span of 3 minutes of gameplay or something. So again, it was something where it just kind of got away from him. Point out Jake Browning. I mean, we went through a little bit of his high school numbers last week.
Which
we are talking about the greatest high school quarterback in California history. As crazy. I mean, we've got Aaron Rodgers, California quarterback. You got Tom Brady, California quarterback. List goes on and on. Matt Leinart. Carson Palmer, I believe, also.
There's a ton. They all come from California. Let's just admit that, guys.
Did Josh Allen play his high school? I know Josh Allen's from the area. I don't know if he played his high school.
Wyoming.
He did? Okay, yeah.
Okay, and then he went to Wyoming, right? College? Okay.
I wasn't sure what the order was because I remember he point is, there's been tons and tons of great California quarterbacks.
Although Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers were not good high school quarterbacks, which is very strange.
That is strange.
Interesting.
That is very
Aaron Rodgers didn't even win a state title.
Really?
He was up in Chico.
Yeah. Well, I guess
I think they went 8-4 his senior year or something like that.
Interesting.
And then he kind of blossomed.
Yeah, I don't know.
At least, I mean, absolutely flourished at Cal.
Josh Allen one is very easy though, because I don't know if people know this. His senior year of high school, he was 5'8", and now he's 6'4".
I heard about this. So he had a huge growth spurt late.
So he
was
a community college, and he grew 8 inches basically.
What the heck?
Yeah, that's why Josh Allen
late too in community college, not even his sophomore year of high school or something.
It's always 8th grade, I feel for guys.
What is going on? That's late of a growth spurt. I mean,
that's usually those
voodoo stuff. What happened?
That's what happens with those guys that come out of nowhere. I think of David Robinson grew
I know Anthony
8
Davis
inches.
Is one of those
Anthony Davis. Those are the guys that are usually the freak talents. Is they learn how to play at a smaller height and then grow into the physical gifts.
Wow.
Absolutely insane. So Jake Browning, bigger point, is one of the best high school, the best. I think you can confidently say the best high school quarterback to ever come out of California. It was definitely a shaky Sunday for him, but I would expect him to have a little bit of a bounce back. I don't think it'll look as bad as it looks. He's definitely somebody who turned the ball over the week before as well, but was able to ultimately get the Bengals the win the week previous. I would expect to have a lot more competitive games with Jake Browning under center than what we saw. But nonetheless, I think it was a really bad loss, obviously, for the Bengals, for them to have that big they were 2-0 heading into the game. Again, a nice little comeback from Jake Browning the week before, and then to lose that way, you just feel like you lose all the momentum in your sails. And that brings us to the game tonight, which we will highlight with Whitey Gleason, who I believe we will be doing crosstalk with. We talk Lions and Ravens coming up next. You're listening to the Allen Stiles Show, Sacktown Sports.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation.
Groundworks, official foundation repair company of Cal Athletics. Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Just announced, Stockton Honda has been named #1 of California's best car dealers in 2025 by USA Today and Statista. This prestigious award is based on thousands of customer reviews and recommendations, ranking dealerships for service, value, and satisfaction. Out of hundreds evaluated, Stockton Honda is proud to be #1, recognized for all-around excellence and commitment to our customers. Visit Stockton Honda, where reputation meets the road.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Paid for by Action Matters.
Attention former and present inmates of women's prisons in California. If you are currently or were an inmate of Central California Women's Facility in Chowchilla, also known as Chowchilla Women's Facility, Valley State Prison for Women in Chowchilla, Institute for Women in Chino, or Folsom Women's Facility in Represa, and were a victim of sexual abuse, now is the time to come forward, as you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. If you were an inmate at any of these prisons at any time and were subjected to sexual abuse from staff members, you may be entitled to substantial cash compensation. Call our California Women's Prison Helpline now at 800-408-1240. The deadline to file a claim may be close. Call now to get the justice, closure, and the financial settlement you deserve. Even if it was long ago, call our law firm's Women's Prison Sexual Abuse Helpline right now at 800-408-1240. 800-408-1240. 800-408-1240.
Get ready for 2 epic showdowns of Monster Truck Madness at the Stockton Dirt Track, Saturday, October 4th. Feel the roar, the power, and the ground-pounding action. 2 shows, 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. Do you have what it takes to survive the madness? Get your tickets now at StocktonDirtTrack.com.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Welcome back, or welcome in to the Alan Stiles Show. One more segment for you as we lead you into the Drive guys, who have a little bit of an abbreviated show today.
Truncated today.
Yeah. I don't know if you have a preference of how you like to title these shows, but a little bit a truncated show because of Monday Night Football. You got the Lions and the Ravens.
I know who you're rooting for.
You know it. Yeah.
Wait, fill me in.
Well, I'm
Mr. Viking
supporter, and so I try to. Though the Lions, as I've said, are fairly harmless. They're the ones who have kind of been in the mud for pretty much my entire life, and so it's okay if the Lions have their time in the sun for now. But it is. It is getting to the point where I am like, okay, like we can move past the Lions, and I think it'll be interesting. I mean, we were talking about it earlier. Like, I do think this game especially is going to be a good indication of, and now it's not going to be the end all be all, but where are the Lions right now in terms of their journey trying to get over the loss of their coordinators?
Yeah, Kayla, it's very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yes. And I feel like I'm interrupting a party, and I know everyone is really enjoying what you guys are putting out there today. But Chris and I used to do this time slot a couple of years ago for a few months. And the reason I bring up the Lions, I remember that would have been before last season?
Yes, before
and
last
I remember a lot of people were starting to jump on board the Lions bandwagon, and he wasn't having it.
He was like,
don't tell me Jared Goff's going to be any good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at the time it didn't seem like that, right?
Right.
And I don't know if I'm right or not. Even today, I'm like, like they did kind of prove me right. Like they didn't really reach where they were hoping to reach, but I guess, the Niners got in their way in that one playoff run. And so I don't know. I mean, I guess, again, relatively speaking, for Lions standards, I think they're absolutely having a time right now. But you know what? Why do you play the game? Why do you play to win the game? And I don't know. I don't know if they ever fully. I feel like they were a championship caliber team. I don't know if they ever reached it.
I wonder if your team yesterday, Chris, might have pushed Trey Hendrickson out the door and on his way to the Bay.
Boy, oh boy, man, it'd be tough.
The Bengals figure,
that's a really interesting point, because I mentioned earlier how John Lynch in that season where they made the Super Bowl was just hyper aggressive, bringing in all of those edge rushers, and it'll be interesting. I mean, with Nick Bosa out, you think that at least the phone's getting picked up there?
I'm sure they've already called.
Why wouldn't you, right?
Right. Yeah.
I'm sure Trey
absolutely.
Hendrickson is very excited to get out of there after the weekend that he had. Christian Darrisaw really gave him a tough weekend, but you really think, you think that
they'd have to check on it, right?
I would think so. And I mean, how big of a blow is that for the Niners too? I mean, it felt like we weren't sure exactly how severe it was going to be. And, Kyle is even, what do you think of that actually specifically? The fact that Kyle comes out pretty immediately after the game, says it looks like we avoided everything. Normally, and I know he left some room for some wiggle room there, but
he specifically said ACL, like kind of was alluding that he didn't have a serious ACL.
Yeah.
100%,
I'm not a doctor, but I have been to a hospital, so I feel
okay,
like
pretty much. I mean, that's
but they did a test, right? They did some sort of exam that specifically was supposed to give an indication of whether the ACL is ruptured or not. And they said, the doctor said, no, it looks okay, but it looks like Bosa knew that.
Because he was like thumbs down, but we couldn't tell if it was like thumbs down for the rest of the game.
Maybe
like
somebody asked him, you need a hot dog or something? We don't know.
I'm good. Thank
Are the Cardinals good?
Right.
Maybe, the churro call, all that stuff.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's really tough. Again, we talked about how it's just another name in the another name added to the list for the Niners. Seems like Brock Purdy might be back this week, but I don't think you can necessarily put that in Sharpie by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, they're going against Jacksonville this week, so at least there's a little bit of relief in terms of opponent, but
they're not great, huh? They won yesterday.
It feels
bad
like
Houston team too.
Yeah. The 49ers have them later on.
Do they really? Okay, that's always going to be a fun one. D'Amico Ryan's getting back in there. So, I mean, how do you feel about the Niners? I mean, I know you're glad that Eddie Pinheiro is hitting kicks, but it's got to feel like for the Niners, it's like you plug one hole and then there's three more.
It's funny in this sense. In 2020, when Bosa went down, which was week 2, I
week
think,
2
when they were
is
in New
what Schefter
Jersey.
said, yeah.
All right, but they were playing the Jets. Yes. I don't know if they still play in New Jersey. But anyway, when he went down, I remember we were saying, well, that's it. They're not a Super Bowl team. Because everything was about getting back to the Super Bowl. This year, I'm not sure they're a Super Bowl team even with him. I mean, maybe they are. So I feel like, your goals not as lofty. So maybe you can still accomplish some things this year, especially if you go out and get a trade for someone like Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that would be 100% the best case scenario for sure. But I think we talked about Michael Williams looking really good as well.
Some
It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and their defense is always finding guys, right? Too. I mean, like I talk about Talano Hufanga and Dre Greenlaw, but those guys weren't anything before they ended up having their moment for the Niners, and the Niners have, to their credit, been really good at finding talent where maybe you wouldn't expect it. Like Upton Stout, I think looks great.
He looked good.
Upton Stout.
I love that name. Yeah, I was like, is this a real song? Because I'm loving it.
It will be a new song.
Whitey singing the parody song.
I like it.
Whitey Gleason's the wheels are churning.
Heck of a play though yesterday, to your point.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, incredible. And I think
were done, right?
They were done.
They were.
I mean, they have a chance, but boy, there's no way they're going to win. Oh, never mind. They won.
Yeah, no. And again, the Mac Jones interception at that point.
Yeah.
If you ask me, it's over, right? I mean, it feels like all the momentum shot. How much faith are you going to have in Mac Jones? He's already hurt. He's hobbling around. He's diving to get
like he was struggling.
Yeah, poor guy, man. And he took it well after the game. He seemed in good spirits. Of course, they get the win, but I don't know. Yeah, it felt like a game that the Niners really shouldn't have won. And, sitting in this seat, I guess I'll play out. Like, the Niners do like to stick to a schedule. They like to stick to a script. They like to be ahead. They don't really like to play this game where they have to go out there and make plays.
Get ahead and then TOP.
100%.
Doing it.
Yep. Control possession. And yesterday was a game where they had to go off script and they didn't have their quarterback. They didn't have what you maybe would have said going into the game with Juwan Jennings, number one receiver. Kittle obviously out. So
Shanahan's like a riverboat gambler all of a sudden.
I know this guy who, was very, to the vest and would do things a certain way.
What's going on?
It's strange. And, I think it's welcome for sure. I think the Niners traditionally, especially under Shanahan, do tend to play very uptight, like a very almost it has to go perfect. And once things don't go perfect,
right?
Yeah, I think it reflects how much faith he has in the defense now, too.
For sure.
I mean, I'd like to think that has a lot to do with it.
Right. And Saleh by extension.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
We've very well chronicled the defensive coordinator
merry-go-round,
if you will. Steve Wilkes and the up in the booth, down in the booth, not enough energy, correct energy. And it feels like Saleh is just, to your point, like somebody who he knows obviously has head coaching experience now, but he can just say, I have faith that my defense, I can have faith in my defense, I guess. And again, I have to throw on the kicker element of it too. I think having that kicker stability, to me, especially for Kyle Shanahan, I think that's really big. I think he just enjoys to feel comfortable.
Yesterday was kind of a crazy day for kickers.
It
right?
really
no
was.
one really cares, but wow.
Like block kicks, kicks.
Yeah.
You know, the drama was on the kickers for sure.
And not just block the kick, but I'm taking it to the
Taking it
hizzy.
back.
2 times,
Right.
2 different teams did that. It's like,
It was almost like back-to-back, too,
Yeah,
in terms of the timing.
You're right. Yeah, yeah.
It's
I was watching
wild.
Red Zone too.
Me too, yeah.
Boom.
Jordan Davis, 300 plus pounds.
This must be
Yeah,
AI,
that's
and they
fun.
just changed the
19
uniforms.
miles.
I just saw this play.
Yeah. Dude, Jordan Davis, and talk about a big man sprinting all the way to the finish. And I think like Sal Paolantonio had an interview with him right after, and they're like, let him take a breath.
Yeah.
You know, like
guy
that
like
guy
that.
just ran or more than half the
Yeah.
field.
Absolutely
And
incredible.
they covered on that play too.
They
That's
did. I
right.
think it was a weird situation, with that, where the Rams, I think, would have won and covered, and it ended up being a non.
I think if you had the Rams, you're thinking he makes the kick, I win.
Yeah,
he
that's
misses
what it was.
I win.
Yes.
The
the only thing that couldn't happen happened.
And it did.
Right. And what are the odds of that?
And again,
besides,
exactly.
it just happened. It's not going to happen again.
The funniest part is too, I guess it's not funny from that perspective of things, but he didn't have to score. He just blocked the kick, go down,
Nope.
game's over all the same. The fact that he actually ends up running it back and scoring has so many implications that I'm sure we don't have to get into it, but I'm sure can cause an investigation or people to absolutely lose their minds. Well, do you have any expectations for tonight? You got Lions, you got Ravens.
The Ravens tattoo them historically. I think the Lions haven't won there. They don't play there that much.
Right.
But I don't think they've won there in Baltimore since like 1977 or something
Yeah.
against the Colts.
Yeah, I was going to say, was that even the Ravens?
That's wild. They've won like 5 straight versus them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So the Ravens own them.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'd go with the Ravens.
Interesting.
In
One of these teams is
Baltimore,
going to
right?
be 1 and
In
2.
Baltimore, I
Yeah.
believe,
Okay.
yep.
One of these teams is going to be 1 and 2.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Pretty good teams.
Yeah, and it feels like, again, and maybe a little biased, but it feels like the Lions are the more they make more sense to me as the 1 and 2 team. I think both of these teams you wouldn't be super concerned about. It's not a start worrying about the season because you're 1 and 2 with either of these two teams. I think the talent is good enough to where I think we expect both of these teams to be fighting all year.
So,
long.
Chris, were you rooting for Dallas yesterday against the Bears, or how far does this?
I think it was a no
NFC North
contest
thing
yesterday. I mean,
It's kind of a who really cares.
yeah,
you know?
it's really a no harm, no foul.
You had to be a Cleveland fan yesterday, right?
Yes. Oh my God, the biggest one in the world, Whitey. Come on,
That was a
Joe
shocker.
Flacco. Come on. Well, it was shocking to some of us. Some
Yeah,
of
you're
us,
like, some of us
knew
called
all
that
along
one.
that those fraudulent Packers.
Right?
And this is the problem.
Jordan
Is
Love, who's he?
last week, Monday, I sing the Packers praises, and of course, here they show up the very next week. And this is why I
Reverse
cannot
psychology. You're a
cannot
genius.
give these guys any sort of slack. So, Whitey Gleason, you got Whitey for the next hour and a half, leading you into Monday night
We're gonna go
football.
do 2 hours.
You
We'll
are?
do 2, yeah.
There we go.
Up to
Okay,
4.
you heard it here first. That's an
Yeah.
exclusive.
That's the
I thought it
plan.
was 2.5.
Breaks.
so
It's
I don't
here. Boom. All right. Well, the show is just going to keep on going. Just tune in, and then when they stop, you know it's over.
Then it's going to be Monday Night Football.
Then it's going to be Monday Night Football, and you definitely shouldn't tune out for that. Whitey Gleason will have you there.
Glad you're
Chris
feeling
Lawson,
better, seriously.
I'm feeling great.
Yeah,
Kayla
very
Anderson's
nice
going to be
to meet you.
joining
Nice
us
to meet
all
you, Whitey.
week. Very excited for that. Kyle Ledbetter, you know he's going to be here all week
Yes, no
long.
choice.
You're listening to the Alan Stiles Show, Sucked Out Sports.